Hello, how we doing everybody? Welcome to twitch.tv/1030. Shall we go for a blue day today maybe? The lights behind me, thinking about it. Lights behind me are thinking about going blue. Maybe I need to do it on my phone. Oh, and also, well, we simply can't have that. I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do pop. So the telly's now working. Hello everybody, welcome in. Let me see if I can get some cool lights on in the background and we will begin the stream. And listen, see when I'm doing this, what you can do, if you're into it, is share any good news. If you would like to share good news, please feel free to stick it in the chat and I will read your good news and then we'll all be pals together. And then what do you do when you forget what the app is called that you use to turn on your lights? What a 2025 problem, eh? Oh, and also, sorry, this isn't set up, 2 wee seconds. Haven't set up my my bubble gun. I've got a new location for the bubble gun, folks. Haven't quite set it up. The battery's not in. Let me do that as soon as possible. Here, actually, when I'm doing this, let's just prevent any bubble blast. Okie dokie, I think we're maybe ready to start the bloody stream. What do you think about that? I think we're ready to start the stream. I keep thinking about a time where Shawn Michaels ripped the piss out of a Scottish interviewer because the guy said M. So let's see if all of this is working, man. Yes, I think this is working. I keep thinking about a time where Shawn Michaels... Sorry if you heard double stuff there. So I'm currently streaming live on TikTok. I figured out how to get unbanned for TikTok. How cool is that? I'm streaming live on Twitter again. Fuck it. Say hello if you're on Twitter. I'm streaming live on Twitch. And then I'm streaming live on YouTube, horizontal and vertical. I think. Just to see. Just to extend the reach. Think that light's off, maybe? Would be wonderful to have background lights on though, wouldn't it? Would be wonderful to have background lights on. So what's my app called? Is it called Smart something? Smart Life? I don't think it is. It's maybe called Smart Life. So I could do this. And I could do that. That'll do. That'll do for today. What about something like this? It's a wee bit more interesting. Look at how artily the plywood is lit. That's good going, isn't it? That's pretty good going. Listen everybody, welcome in at the start of the stream. What we like to do is share good news. So if you've got any good news, big or small, I would like to know what it is. Feel free to stick it in chat and we will start with Bowdy here. Hello Bowdy. Bowdy says, good news. My dad got new hearing aids this morning. Reckons they're life-changing, amazing. Apparently hearing aid technology has came on incredibly in the past wee while. I was watching Adam Savage talk about his hearing aids. Hold on, let's get Hal on the go. Bring Hal in a bit. That's some genuine good news. They're dear though, they're very expensive, aren't they? The old hearing aids. And I think they should be free, personally. Oh, look at that for a bouffon. Look at that for a bit of edge lighting on my dome. Look at that, everybody, I'm happy. Oh, I'm quite happy. Aye, there. That's a good light setup. I mean, we're getting it a wee bit in here, aren't we? So, just like Goldilocks zone. I think Goldilocks zone's about here. Yeah, bo. Look at that. Skywatcher77, you're a VPN. Hello Carnivore, hello Base Embrace, hello Bowdy here, hello Carnivore again, hello Funkyman316. Hello Bowdy here again. Is anybody else getting any more good news? Anna Realta's in, hi John the Human's in. How's all organising after yesterday? Anna Realta, no organising happened. I'll tell you what happened. After the stream yesterday, I went and I ate a big bowl of tuna pasta and just immediately had to go to sleep. And I woke up at about 7:30 at night. And Rachel thinks I'm diabetic because every time I eat pasta, I'm like, oh, I'm dead sleepy now. I'm really sleepy now. She's like, I go and get Sainty. So I get very little tidy. Well, no, we did get a big bit of tidying up done, but just not in here. Just like other things. Base Embrace says I've called the police. Well, what we're about to do today is perfectly legal. Are you in the UK and don't want to sign up for a wanking licence? I've got you covered. I've got you covered. I'll show you how it's all done. Also, it's not sponsored. See, if I was a baddie, right, I would go on and get one of these VPN services that pay streamers money to recommend it to you. This isn't one of them. I'm not making any money off of this. I'm going to tell you how to use a free thing that works and looks to be fairly safe and above board and everything else. You into that? Shall we do that? I want to do that. Hello Pursue303, how you doing? Mega multi-streamer, aye. Jimmy 5 streams. Bowdy says they do noise cancelling and Bluetooth phone calls. That's amazing. His old ones are 2015. He reckons he's Robocop now, 100%. Hello Steve O'Platts on YouTube, welcome in. So I'm currently streaming on Twitter. I don't want to tell you to change what platform you're on, because that would be bad, right? Stay on the platform that you're on. See, if you're currently on TikTok, stay there, because it would be against the TikTok terms of service if I told you to go over to Twitch where there's like a big chat filled with people. We can't have that. Instead, I'm telling you to stay on TikTok. Similarly, if you're on YouTube, I can't tell you to go over to Twitch where there's a big chat filled with people. I need to tell you to stay on YouTube. And Twitter, I don't think Twitter cares about that. Anyway. Welcome in, folks. How's it even going? The good news for today is that Bowdy Hears His Da has got brand new hearing aids, and that's class, man. All of this should be free, shouldn't they? All of this should be free. But they're very, very expensive. Got that fake diabetes that Fox Comedy has? No, Fox Comedy's got... I was trying to tell somebody about Fox Comedy's particular type of diabetes, and I realised when I was trying to explain it, I just didn't know anything about it. I was like, no, how there's type 1 and type 2 diabetes? She's like, uh-huh. Do you know who I was talking to? Gillian Smart, BBC weather presenter. I was talking to her about diabetes. This is the life that I lead, right? Does everybody know Gillian? She's cool, man. Where's Gillian Smart? This is what Gillian does in her day job. You might know her off the internet. No, off the telly. She's cool. And I often work in a weather presenter room. Anyway, so I was chatting in this room. No, off the telly. People. Hold on, sorry if you can hear my doubled audio. About diabetes, and then the subject of Fox Comedy came up. So Fox Comedy, George Fox, who may or may not be in chat, has got like a special type of diabetes. It isn't type 1 diabetes, it isn't type 2 diabetes, but it's like another special one just for him. And he thought for a wee while that it was actually going to kill him. He thought that he had like 9 months to live or something. And then they went, oh no, actually, it's okay. And he's like, it's okay? They're like, no, it's not okay. I mean, you're still all fucked up and stuff, but you're not going to die. Check this out, folks. A new bubble blast location. Look at that. It should come over here a wee bit. Spoggers, how you doing? Thank you very much for the sub, that's right. Hello 1030. There you go, hello Spoggers. Look at that. Look at that. We've got memes happening here. Thank you very, very much for the sub, welcome in. I wonder if I can reduce these reflections. So Fox Comedy's basically got this other type, which, and apparently, for what I've been reading, the bloody Alzheimer's is a type of diabetes or something like that. I'm just like, what? But I realised as I was about 2 sentences into the conversation, explaining all the Fox Comedy stuff, that I had actually no idea all the words for it. So I quickly retreated. Spoggers, thank you very, very much for the sub, welcome in, and also how's it going, and also welcome in, how's it going? Grandsigns on 4 is in with a bit of good news, and listen, at the start of the stream we like to share good news. Grandsigns on 4 says, good news, had the carpets professionally cleaned. Oh yes, that's good gear. That's good gear. How does one go about that? We've got one of the big rug doctor things, because we've got 2 dogs, and so that's good. So I wonder if getting it professionally cleaned is in any way better than a rug doctor, because if I paid like money for somebody to come out to professionally clean the carpets and they just showed up with the thing that I've already got, I'd be raging. But I wouldn't mind a professionally cleaned carpet. That sounds excellent. Mike7890, while talking about VPNs and the topic that we're going to speak about today, says get sponsored by Proton. I was looking into that, right? So everybody in the UK right now wants a VPN because of various privacy concerns, legitimate privacy concerns. And I was going to try and get sponsored by a VPN, and then I looked into it, and there's a VPN that looks to be the good one, and they're that cool they don't even sponsor anybody. So what I'm going to recommend to you today, I think is better than the Proton VPN, right? I think it's better than that, but the trade-off is that I can't make any money by recommending it to you. But you know what? I don't care about that, because right here on this platform, it's not about me making cash. It is a wee bit about me making cash, but it's about me telling you the truth as I see it. And so I'm going to tell you about the other one, and we'll see what's going on. Curious what your criteria are for a good VPN. I have my own criteria, but I'd love to learn more. I'm still learning all of this Jack Grants right now, so this is interactive. So anything that I say here, if it's wrong or if it can be improved, then let me know what's going on. So, in fact, we'll get to it all in a second. Let me read all of this just now. But for anybody who is Mulvad, basically, we're going to do a wee Mulvad tutorial, and I'll show you just what it is. For absolute noobs, for folk who aren't into technology and just want to have a wank without the government peering over their shoulder, I will tell you all about how to do that today. Glad you're getting into this. Love learning from the community so much. Aye. Well, the deal is, right? The deal is, somebody messaged me yesterday and said, listen, 1030, I didn't want to ask on stream because I'm a wee bit embarrassed, but you seem to know about technology and stuff like that. Could you tell me all about this VPN stuff? Because I don't know, but it's important, but I don't want to ask in public because then people will associate me with porn and all of that sort of stuff. Brilliant. This is what we're doing then today. This is exactly what we're doing today, because this is the information. It wasn't WeShed. This is the information that we need to tell each other, innit? And if I can do it, and speak about pornography and stuff confidently, and in a way that isn't taboo, and in a way that isn't peril clutching, and in a way that's safe and above board and all that sort of stuff, then let's bloody well do that. Because privacy is important. Everybody needs privacy. And there's the whole argument of like, oh, well, if you've got nothing to hide, that, no, bogus, man, bogus. I don't want people taking a photo of me having a shit, right? I've got nothing to hide there. Everybody knows how all of that works, but still, that's my privacy. Similarly, different areas of the internet just now. If you were to look up information about Israel, for example, in the UK, that could be behind a wall that's demanding your ID and demanding you to verify who you are and stuff like that. Also, all the companies that have been employed to verify people's IDs have been hastily put together. They're foreign international companies that are being run for profit. And they will be a target for hackers. They simply will be. If you can get in and you can see the database of the public's face and name and list of stuff they wank to, well, then you've got yourself a big blackmail database there, haven't you? Lots of people whose preferences they don't want to be public, right? Lots of people are closeted because it's unsafe for them to be who they are. Many, many reasons why all of this is bogus. And the pretend explanation for it is like, oh, children, think of the children. And as we know, that's some bogus bullshit. So, what we're going to do today is legal, and it's safe, and for the time being it works, and it seems to be the best solution that I have found so far. But this is an interactive conversation, right? As I said, I could make money just now by recommending that you use this company or that company or whatever else. I'm recommending that you use a company that I can't make money from because they're very private. The company that I'm about to speak to are the only VPN company that, when raided by the police, didn't have any information to hand over because apparently they don't log anything. So that makes a lot of sense to me, and that's what I want to talk about today. It'll take me about 2 minutes to tell you how to put all this together. Dead easy. It seems to be the safest, bestest option, and if you're into it, then let's do it. There are different options. What I'm about to say today isn't the truest, most only answer. Everybody's got their own strategies for navigating this. So, I can't believe we're here, man. Best solution I found so far. How much do you wank, mate? Listen, I do my bit, man. I do my bit. Proudly. Pursue says, by the way, see, before we do all of this, I'm going to read a combined chat. I'm streaming on Twitch, I'm streaming on Twitter, I'm streaming on TikTok, I'm streaming on 5 places. Even places run by neo-Nazis, I'm streaming there. Fuck it. Fuck it. Pursue says good news. At the start of the stream, we shared good news, by the way. Pursue says good news. I went over my parts and patches I'd made using a free modular synth app, and nearly all of them are still sounding good, and the others have a section I can sample to use as a patch on a sample synth. Then I went back and saved off more of the best presets to start from. That is amazing, Pursue. That's class. I've been on the edge of modular synthesis for a long time, and I've just been like, no, it's like peering over a chasm. I can't get any modular synths. Rachel would leave me if I got any modular synths. Religion says Twitter doesn't know you exist. I think I've been shadow banned on Twitter, to be honest. So White Pilled Man asks what happened. Did they ban VPNs too? Apparently, they're talking about banning VPNs as well. But so for the time being, the strategy that I'm about to speak about works and is valid. I don't see how they can ban VPNs. I don't see how that's possible. But UK government in it, I wouldn't put it past them. China seems to have unsuccessfully banned VPNs. I know somebody in China right now who's using a VPN fine. So I think this is a good strategy. We will see. We will see where we end up. Do you like the new bubble position? It's just a wee bit better for my skin. Sorry if folk feel a wee bit disenfranchised that I'm not getting bubble blasted to the face. But it is what it is, man. look, times are a-changing. You need a wanking licence and now I don't get bubble blasted to the face. Pursue says, oh yeah, that abandoned priory you were in the other day and found it eerie and creepy. I suggest that's maybe you being built from local Devonian sandstone. Oh wow! This was the domain of weird alien-looking giant sea scorpions or backbone fish ancestors, which were lunch for euryptid sea scorpions. Amazing. I visited Devon and Cornwall quite a bit when I was younger, and they're into their supernatural witches and all of that, Merlin's Cave and everything. It's a cool place. I think the creepiness that's happening in Cornwall just now seems to be mainly from holiday homes getting snapped up by rich people, and so a lot of not urban. What's the countryside word for urban? Like remote. What's the word I'm thinking of here? Remote poverty, basically. Rural. There you go. My head's not working. Thank you very much, 27 Club. Loads of poverty there now because folk are stealing homes and stuff and just not occupying them. So what I wanted to do was create a film set in Cornwall about the supernatural and about all of that. But it turns out the real evil was actually folk, landlords and absentee. Anyway, Cornwall's cool, man. Devon, you mentioned. I'm mixed up in Devon, Cornwall. I'll end up getting cancelled. But I've been in Merlin's Cave. In about all of that. Anyway, so we're talking about Mulvad today. I'm going to help you have a wank, and if that sounds good, feel free to sub to me on Twitch. If you've got a Prime sub, I'll take that as well. If you do sub, you get a bubble blast, you get your face here, you get your name here, and you get me thanking you. David, 27 Club, says, hi James, so I wanted to tell you that when I showed my chat your tweet about disassociating with Radiohead, they all said you were fucking based and amazing. Thank you very much, cheers. Listen, the Radiohead video that I made in 2008 was the start of my career. It did me very well. I got my foot in a lot of doors and stuff like that, and I was very proud of it, but I can no longer be proud of Radiohead or celebrate their music because Tom York appears to be like a Zionist pig, and he's had plenty of opportunity to clarify his position on that. Why does it matter what Tom York thinks of Israel and Palestine? Because he's been very vocal about everything else. Tibet, fucking everything. So I don't want to be affiliated with Radiohead anymore. Don't want to do that. Don't want to do it. The most recent video of him walking off stage was funny. Aye. Somebody heckled. Hello, Ron Sausage. Somebody heckled. And he's like, oh, well, come up here if you want to say that. And the guy started walking up to the stage. He was like, oh, so he just walked off stage. Get fucked, posh boy, man. Radiohead used to be my heroes. I had an opportunity to meet them. I got a text for Colin Greenwood, who I believe is actually on the right side of this. I believe Colin Greenwood is on the right side of this, maybe. Ed O'Brien seems to be on the right side of this. And I think this is why Radiohead haven't made any music for a long time. But I once got a text off Colin, just like that, you're cool, man. We're in a subterranean rehearsal studio in Berlin just now. I was just ready to walk on stage to present the video that I'd made for them. And he just sent me a wee good luck. He seems like a nice guy. But anyway, Radiohead, in the bin. Radiohead, flung in the bin. And that's a shame for me, I suppose, because that was a big part of my identity, really. Certainly my professional identity. But you know who it's more of a wee shame for? The people of Palestine. So, Tom York, go fuck yourself, man. Anyway. Privacy is important, but porn is degenerate and unhealthy. That's right, porn is degenerate and unhealthy. Do you think we should put a photo of Mary Whitehouse behind us? Mary Whitehouse. Copy. Save image as. More like Mary Shitehouse. Am I right, everybody? Mary Whitehouse. Save that to desktop. Then we'll go over here. Studio mode. And then I'll go down here. Bang. And then I will add an image. Mary Whitehouse. And then I will go there. Look at this, man. Graphic design in it. Well, it's not really graphic design, is it? right? And then, there you go. Heyo. Imagine I get screen burn. How's it going, B Dolan, by the way? How's it going, Rolling Sausage? How's it going, everyone? It's an honour to be here streaming with you today. The objective of today is to figure out what the hell we're going to do about the UK government's pornography meddling. First they came for the wankers. I did not speak out. I was not a wanker. Well, I am. And I'm fucking proud, so I'm speaking out. Somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to do it. At the start of the stream, we like to share good news. If you've got any good news, stick it in chat. I would like to know what your good news is. So we'll get to all the VPN stuff as soon as possible. I want to know what your good news is. The literal hottie that is Mary Whitehouse. I'm tempted to objectify her just for a laugh. If you're international, basically, she wanted to ban anything. Back in the day, she was like, oh, think of the children. Like pure Helen Lovejoy patter. She wanted to just ban like everything and got a lot of media coverage because that was the news back then. Your tipper goer, I believe so. I'd like to tip her goer if I'm right. I don't usually speak about women like that, but that was for comedic effect. I'm being ironic. She made Watershed a thing, which the Watershed, on the face of it, I suppose is good, but she wanted to go much further, much further, and now she's dead, I believe. Zabalbus, how you doing? Zabalbus says, I have a VPN, but it's on the BDS list, so I'm getting off it. Be good to see what you're recommending. Cool, man. I'm going to talk about all of that. If you're just looking for a TLDR, Mulvad seems to be the best option that I've found, right? And for non-techie people, I'm just going to show you how to very easily set it up. You can set it up on your phone, you can set it up on your Amazon Fire TV stick, you can set it up on your Windows machine, you can set it up on your Mac, and it's not free because if you sign up for a free VPN, you are the product. Somebody's tracking you somewhere, there's some shenanigans going on. Also, what I'm about to recommend, not a sponsor. I could easily have set up a sponsor VPN for this. See, if you go on YouTube, all these influencers are like, oh, get NordVPN or get this or get that, and they're getting a kickback off it. What I'm about to tell you today, I'm not making any money off of. I thought about it. I thought about going for one of the less good options and with a straight face recommending that to you, but I'm going to go for the best option that I've found, and we'll talk about it. And this is interactive as well. But a TLDR is Mulvad. It's very easy to set up, and I'm going to go over it and I'll show you how to set it up as well. Welcome in, Zabalbus. Wonderful to see you in here, my man. Anyway, so if anybody's got any good news, at the start of the stream, what we like to do is share some good news. I'm really worried that Mary Whitehouse's face is going to screen burn into my monitor. I wonder if I should add like an effect to it or something, just so that it's just so that there's a bit of movement on it. What about like a fake, like this? So it looks as if it's off of a VHS or something. So she's kind of moving. Do you think that'll refresh the monitor enough to not have a screen burn in it? Do you know, I don't know. What about another layer of just like that? And like loads of noise. Hopefully that's enough of a shuggle that screen burn won't happen, but I honestly don't know, man. Hulk Hogan Deed Cunt didn't burn in and it was up for a while, that's true. That's very true. Make her bounce around like the DVD logo. If I could, I would. I can't do that easily because of the weird nature that I'm piping stuff into my telly. But I think that'll do. That'll do, man. Maybe have her moving side to side a bit more. Put this tape wrinkle a bit bigger. You're a tape wrinkle. And hopefully that's not too distracting, is it? Mary Whitehouse, man. More like Mary Shitehouse, am I right? Anyway, I'm getting lost in the sauce. There we go. Jack Grants, I totally agree. Parents, isn't it? Parents. Zabalba says, Proton claim to be no log, but I wonder how true it is. I don't know about Proton. There's a couple of people on Reddit that I was looking at. It was like, Proton maybe aren't the best. And I'm like, I don't know. Where is Proton? Let's ask the woman, right? Or will we ask Stone Cold Steve Austin? No. We'll ask the woman, it's quicker. At the start of the stream, I like to share good news. If you've got any good news, stick it in chat. Hi there, how are you?
Hi James, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. How about you? How's everything going with your latest projects?
Fandabby dozy, if I'm going to be honest with you. Listen, I've got a question about Israel, so hold tight. Which VPNs are currently owned by Israel? She's Googling.
Some major VPN services are owned by Israeli companies. Cape Technologies, led by Israeli billionaire Teddy Sagi, owns ExpressVPN, CyberGo's Private Internet Access, ZimMate, and Intego Antivirus. Also, Aura, formerly known as Pango Group, is an Israeli company that owns Hotspot Shield, BetterNet, VPN 360, TouchVPN, UltraVPN, and OVPN.
That's mental, isn't it? Considering the government are known for blackmail tactics. Anyway, let's not worry about that. Could you tell me if there's anything suspicious similarly about Proton VPN?
Proton VPN is generally considered a trustworthy service with a strong focus on privacy and security. They do have measures in place to detect suspicious activities, and if they notice any unusual behavior, they might temporarily lock your account to protect it. To regain access, you just need to change your password. Overall, there's nothing particularly suspicious about Proton VPN.
Have Proton VPN given any information to any agencies after they have been raided?
Proton VPN has a strict no-logs policy, so they don't store information about users' online activities. That said, there was a case in 2021 involving Proton Mail, which is run by the same company. Swiss authorities compelled Proton Mail to hand over an IP address linked to a particular user. This shows that while Proton VPN and Proton Mail don't log user data, they still have to comply with Swiss legal requests if necessary.
And so, similar question, but for Mulvad VPN, has there been any history of leaks or information? And overall, would you recommend and trust Mulvad VPN?
Mulvad VPN has had a few security incidents. In April 2023, Swedish police searched their office but didn't find any customer data since Mulvad doesn't store logs. In May 2024, they identified potential DNS leaks on Android devices due to Android bugs. And later in August 2024, a security audit found some vulnerabilities in their app, which they quickly fixed. Overall, Mulvad is known for its strong privacy policies and transparency, so they're generally considered a trustworthy option.
Thank you. And so from my research, and like reading research, not just talking to ChatGPT, I've concluded that Mulvad seems to be the best one. And when I get to the bottom of the chat, I'm going to talk about all of that, and I'm going to show you how to do it. If you're running Proton, I think that's fine as well. But who knows? Also, all of these strategies might just change one day as well, because the UK government now can just change all of this whenever, without any oversight or anything like that. The UK has Streisand the entire population into getting obsessed with porn. Martin, the deal is the UK were already obsessed with porn, as is every other nation ever. And the UK government have just made it harder for us to access it. So of course people are going to be raging about it. And what's worrying about this is that Nigel Farage has came out and says, oh, if you vote for us, we won't do this porn stuff. We'll just let you on the internet. Which is an incredible political move, right? It's the only thing he's ever said that's made sense. And if I didn't know about all the bad stuff that he stands for and represents, I might think, oh cool, aye, nice one. I'll vote for him, which I'm not going to. Everyone's all fucked, innit? Have we still got music in the background? Sorry if we've still got music in the background. This music is by my mate Paul, and his details are in the chat just now. If you want to listen to his music, you can do that there. Anyway. You're not the wanker we deserve, you're the wanker we need. Proud. Jack Grant says, good news, facing up to 10 days off, my first break since Christmas, and I cannot muster up a drop of motivation in work today. Amazing, Jack Grant. Get the feet up, man. See, even if you piss about and don't do anything, it'll be like another 10 days before you need to face the consequences. And by that point, everybody will have forgotten about it. So fire in. Mary Whitehouse got a porn mag named after her. She also got the Mary Whitehouse Experience, which was like comedy, at the time, edgy comedy sort of stuff. Mary Whitehouse, more like Mary Shitehouse. Hello, I'm you on the YouTube. Welcome in, how's it going? Boise says, is the Opera browser inbuilt VPN of no use? If it works for you, go for it. 100% go for it. It depends on your level of what you need, I suppose. Terrible Clint says, doesn't it slow everything down? It can do, depending on various things. We'll talk about that in a bit. I was able to stream video recently, and it was fine. It was instant, it was fine. Porkchop says, is there something more devious going on behind the government meddling in porn? I have a feeling that having data on people can be used as leverage if they want to shut down dissenting voices. Aye, if I would, I've got my suspicions, right? I've got no concrete evidence of it, so I don't really want to chat about that here because I don't want to get any conspiratorial chat. But all I'm saying is it's a terrible idea to have one centralised database of the sexual preferences of the entire population. If it wasn't a security issue, then they would also implement it for people in positions of power like MPs and politicians. However, politicians don't need to do this. They're exempt, they're different. Why is that? Because their career's more important than mine? So if this process was bulletproof, then surely it would be safe for politicians to also have to adhere to it. Something's afoot, man. Something's dirty somewhere. Messy. Bob's Hampton says, I didn't know Tom York was unpopular lately, so I just googled his position on the whole Gaza-Palestine thing. I came across an article on pitchfork.com and it seems like a pretty reasonable statement on the whole thing. Bob, Pitchfork love Radiohead. I've been following Radiohead for a long time. Big part of my creative identity is latched onto a video that I made for Radiohead in 2008. It's been seen millions of times online and got me fucking literally international awards and all that sort of stuff. And if I've turned on them, I know everything about Radiohead. I don't believe he's using his position very well. I'm just going to say that. Hello, Lindsay, welcome in. How you doing? Hulk Hogan indeed cunt. Aye. Anyway. Tape wrinkle makes it better for me. Aye, it feels retro, doesn't it? I've been looking at the picture of Mary Whitehouse for a few minutes now and my libido has already decreased by 98%. Well, listen, whatever works for you, Disney. Some folk are into that, man. Anyway, who's on my t-shirt? On my t-shirt is me and Cool Genzo. It's a pure pastiche of Sonic Youth album cover, Scottish Twitch. So this was illustrated by Erin McGrath, and I think a couple of them might still be on sale. Me and Cool Genzo don't make any money off it. I don't have a link. Fucking class, Kate, man. Whoa! That's amazing. Kate, that's fucking cool. Kate, we need to catch up. I want to get drunk on a video chat and just chat to you for about 6 hours. Maximum congratulations, that's brilliant. Look at this, everybody, we've got a new bubble gun location that doesn't hurt my skin. Oh shit, Mary Whitehouse is covering up the fucking... Fuck off, Mary Whitehouse. Shedhouse. From Mary Whitehouse to Shedhouse. Shedhouse, thank you very, very much for subbing. I'm very sorry that Mary Whitehouse covered up your logo there for a wee second. That was out of order. I will rectify that by dragging Mary Whitehouse down below all of you. There you go, that's her right there. Dragging her straight down the bottom of the list. Jez says, 10:30, what are you eating? Not joking, you look younger. What happened? I lost a wee bit of weight, Jez. And I started a skincare routine, which is cool. Anyway. So ExpressVPN is owned by Israel. Israel seem to have a habit of blackmailing people. If you use ExpressVPN, I would maybe not use them. Anyway. Right, so let's get to the bottom of the chat and I can talk about stuff. But in the meantime, if you've got any good news, please feel free to stick some good news in the chat. Benzo Kane says music is good in the background. I can stick the music back on in the background if you're into it. Two Crooked Fingers says, fuck, didn't know about Faraj's porn promise. That's dangerously good to get all the wankers on side. Aye, 100%. Anyway. So Opera is Chinese, apparently. Opera is owned by a Chinese company, if I remember correctly, so be aware of that. There you go. I wouldn't trust a VPN owned by the Russians, the Chinese, UK, America. The one I'm about to speak is owned by Sweden, and Sweden is technically part of the Seven Eyes spying agreement that our governments have got, because it's illegal for a government to spy on its own civilians, right? So what the Five Eyes, thanks very much. It's illegal for a government to spy on its own civilians, I think, in certain contexts, but it's perfectly legal for international governments to spy on foreign civilians. So there's something called the Five Eyes program, where 5 nations will spy on each other's civilians and then share that data, which is a bit fucked up, isn't it? But, you know, it stops all the terror and it's keeping the children away from the pornography and everything else. Jez is in on TikTok with a wee bit of good news. Jez says, I get my first medical cannabis legally tomorrow. Not world news, but that's... Aye, there you go. That's cool. That's amazing. I hope you got all the help that you need. And how cool and progressive is that, man? I use the PIA VPN. Aye, that's one that I've no looked at. It's one that I've no looked at. Chameleon says, if it was actually about protecting minors for harmful content, the focus would be on educating about the dangers of all kinds of porn and content found online, but instead they hoover up the data of adults. 100%, man. 100%. Zabalbus, I agree. Tom York's just a badging now, and that's a wee shame, because I used to like him. But see, if you look at his history, you're like, aye, checks out. So Kate Cakes in chat says, good news, I'm down a stone and 3 pounds in a little over a month. Starting the gym tomorrow to get swole. Here we fucking go. That is amazing news, Kate. Don't know if you were in yesterday, but I have moved my weight bench thing. Squat rack. Used to have a squat rack over here, and I couldn't use it in this room because it didn't... It was like banging into stuff and things. We've now got a home gym. So I'm about to get swole, man. See, this is nothing. I don't have any muscle on me at all, right? I never have had any muscle on me at all. This is rubbish. It's mostly flab. Look at that, right? But I'm going to get swole, man. See, in a year's time, I'll be like, Like that. So moan will all get swole just in case it does kick off. So we can punch fascists if we need to. Jamcore says, what's your skincare routine? I'll tell you. CeraVe fucking cleanser, right? So I used to just wash my face with carbolic soap. And my skin's bad. And the world of skincare is filled with like misinformation and marketing and hype, and all the marketing makes you feel insecure unless you buy this special cream and all that bullshit. So I try to just interrogate it to get to like what works, what doesn't. See the stuff that works, can I just get like 5 litres of the most generic, cheapest version of it? I don't care about all the stuff and all that. I just like functional stuff. So cleanser and steady soap, right? CeraVe cleanser is what I happen to use now, right? So once I get cleansed, then in the morning, because my morning and nighttime routine's different. So in the morning, I will use niacinamide cream stuff, which is supposed to like reduce, now there's like unevenness here. So niacinamide's supposed to help with all of that, but it'll take about 8 to 10 weeks before that happens. And then I will put on a moisturiser after that. So the moisturiser I use is SPF 50. So it's basically a moisturiser with sunblock on it, sunscreen, suntan lotion, but it isn't suntan lotion, it's a moisturiser that blocks the sun. And that is important because of an ingredient that is in my evening skincare routine. Evening skincare routine is kind of the same. Starts off with, thing number 1, the cleanser, CeraVe cleanser, right? Just to wash all the crap off. Thing number 2 is sometimes retinol, right? Retinol is the thing. That's the good gear, apparently. Retinol, I think, is like vitamin A that you put into your face, but you can't just start using it because your skin will just start shredding and freaking out and peeling and stuff like that. So you need to ease yourself into retinol, man. So you need to like maybe 3 times a week or twice a week at first. Then your skin gets used to it. Then you can sort of up it a wee bit, right? You need to taper that shit, man, because it's potent. So sometimes stage 2 of the evening routine is to whap on some retinol. Need to be careful as well. Don't put it around your eyes because it can fuck up that. It's seriously potent stuff. And then thing number 3 for the evening routine is a different type of moisturiser that has got HA in it. What's that about? Some hydraulic acid. Thank you very much for the person that wants me to stay silent. Oh, I think I know who you are. I think I know what that's all about. Hiya. Sorry, that sounded confrontational. I think I know who you are. But, okie dokie. Big Scary Deer says, another gym in your home? I am a 24-hour gym. It did sound threatening, I didn't mean that at all. Hyaluronic acid, that's the stuff there. That's the stuff, lads. And that's good. So, remember, if you're using the retinol, you need to use SPF 50 skin stuff the day after. And this is cool, man, because I've never really took care of myself ever. Never got my teeth fixed, never decided to go to the gym, never lost weight, just smoked and drank and didn't really give a shit about myself or my self-image or anything like that. And I'm just getting into it just now. I'm just for the first time. I think it's the fear of death, maybe. I think it's the fear of just getting old and dying. It's kind of prompting me to go, oh, fuck. All right, fuck. And so I'm just trying to make up some time for that now. So we'll see how it goes. And, right, I think it's quite important that me, a man, right? It's talking about skincare stuff. Because usually it's just targeted towards like women. You know what I mean? And I think it's important stuff. I think we should take care of yourself. Your skin is an organ, isn't it? And you take care of other organs, and that will take us on to the VPN chat, talking about taking care of your other organs, the most important organs. Did you notice that in the UK just now, they're making you verify your face? I felt like I missed a band based on your stone. No. No, everything's all right. Mods, be cool. I think everything's fine. I'll fill you in later on. Hello, B. Dolan as well. It feels like you've said a lot in chat and I've not taken a minute to just be like, how you doing, man? You all right? Anyway, self-care can be kind of a wild revelation. Aye, 100%. 100%. Anyway. Cool. I miss the silent McDonald's chomping. Well, there's still time for that. I will still in the future eat McDonald's. I'll still eat gateau and ice cream and all that sort of stuff. But it's not about what you do some of the time, it's what you do most of the time, isn't it? If you ever feel bad remembering death, just remember that Hulk Hogan is there now. 100%. Hulk Hogan's a big dead cunt. Anyway. I think the big reason for me taking care of myself, and I want to say thanks to you, Twitch, for this, right? I never gave a shit about how I looked throughout history, right? I think it might be an artistic thing or whatever, but here's the deal, man. My eyes are pointing in that direction all the time. I don't ever have to perceive myself, ever. But then when I started on Twitch, I'm looking at this screen here, and I'm like, right, okay, so if I get some props here and make them functional, and if I get all of that good, and then if I build a HAL and I can mount that here, and I can do all of this sort of stuff, and then lighting setup. So what camera am I using? Do I need, what filters on the lens? Should I get a diffusion filter? Should I get a polarizing filter for all of this? What ISO should I run at? And syncing up the shutter speed with the refresh rate, the CRT, all this. Meanwhile, I'm forgetting the focal point of the frame, which is this big sack of meat right in the centre. And for the first time being on Twitch made me realise, all right, maybe I could improve like that bit there. Maybe I could improve that bit there. And then once I get into that a wee bit, I started thinking, well, those improvements would make me live longer. You know what I mean? So that's how I get into it all. Anyway. But I'm not wild with it. Like, I'm still drinking Coca-Cola and stuff like that. Which reminds me, this stream is sponsored by Coca-Cola. This stream is sponsored by the Coca-Cola company. And if you would like a free Coca-Cola, all you have to do is walk into a shop, and it can't be a locally owned family shop, has to be a big international corporation. Has to be the sort of place where the employee has never met the boss, because the boss is in the Bahamas somewhere. A place like that, right? It's those places that are sponsoring this stream. All you have to do is walk into the shop and take a Coca-Cola off the shelf, and at the moment where you take it off the shelf, you just say the code word 1030. Pop it in your pocket, you can walk straight out the shop. It's all figured out, don't worry about it. And thank you very much to Coca-Cola for sponsoring this stream. Thank you, Coca-Cola. Thank you, Coca-Cola Company. Anyway. Dawn says, I'm here for vibes and working along. It's breezy, dynamite. I need another work along session with you at some point. That sounded like stuff was involved that isn't. But you know what I mean. Everybody else can speculate. Jack Grant says, the huge contrast between reactions to Ozzy dying and Hulk was absolutely incredible. Aye, Jack. I don't want to make a big deal of it because Ozzy was obviously had addiction issues and his brain was all rotted, right? And had been for years. But Ozzy Osbourne admitted to killing 17 of his cats using a knife and a shotgun. This kind of sort of sullied his legacy for me. I'm just like, Did you, mate? Aye. And then apparently credibly tried to kill his wife twice. But drugs are a hell of a thing, isn't it? Gibbs, thanks very much for gifting a shout to Coca-Cola. Thank you very much. But, right, the guy's brain was all fucked at the time. You know what I mean? But all we can judge people by is, like, their actions in it. He did wonderful things for music. Hulk Hogan did do wonderful things for wrestling. But then he also said some stuff that was a bit out of order. Do you know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. Sometimes just things are, and sometimes people die. Anyway. Wait till I find the bit. Fucking hell, I can't type. The main reason, because I did feel a wee bit bad after I did the stream where I went after Hogan. And then I found this. This is a quote, and the reason I'm putting this on screen is to highlight racism. I don't promote this, but I want you to see this. This here is why I did a stream saying that Hulk Hogan is a big dead cunt. Because if we excuse racists in their death, then racists who are currently alive might think that it's no big deal. I think racists should feel persecuted even in death. And I think it's important to remember racists as racist bastards. Because their actions have consequences. If you say shit like this, you deserve to be remembered as a bad guy. And that's why I did the stream on Hulk Hogan. Wasn't because he lied about travelling abroad and all of that sort of stuff. That could be banter, that could be his wrestling character. It wasn't even necessarily because he stopped wrestlers coordinating to form my brain's not working, workers' rights group, a union, right? It wasn't because he was a union buster. It's because he said all that sort of stuff is the main reason why I went in studs up when he died. Fuck a guy, man. I think racists should be aware that if they say stuff like this, it won't be excused even after they die, and they will be remembered as bigoted, horrible bastards. That's why I did all the Hulk Hogan stuff. Anyway, but he did good stuff. My slammed Andre, didn't he? Slammed Andre. So, you know. Anyway. Ozzy got charged with attempted murder, but the charges were later dropped by Sharon. Sharon! Anyway, I don't know too much about Ozzy and Sharon, but I'm a wrestling fan. Anyway, can we stop idolising random people on the basis of becoming celebrities? I mean, see on the face of it, like Tom York makes fucking great music. Hulk Hogan puts on a big spectacular show, and see when you're 8 years old, that's amazing, right? And here's why it stings. If you're 8 years old and you're sitting with your dad and you're watching the wrestling, right? And Hulk Hogan, your hero, man, your superhero. This fucking cool guy, man, with all his stuff in that. And he defeats the baddie, and you're on your feet, and you're like, yes, man. You'll remember that forever. That's etched as a core memory in your head. And it's not about Hogan. It's about nostalgia and about you sharing that experience with loved ones and stuff like that. And that's why it stings when you find out, oh no, this person might hate the group of people that you belong to, or might hate whatever it is. That's why it stings, and that's why it should be called out. You know what I mean? Cunts gonna be cunts. Anyway, that was Hulk Hogan, not Terry Boella, brother. Aye, definitely. I'm sure it was. Racists should feel shame for the views they have, 100%. Hey, listen, everybody, see if you want to do a wee bit of good for the world and target racism. Check this out, man. You can buy... That should have worked, and it didn't work. You can buy, if you would like to. I'll try that again. Nothing worked there. Why didn't that work? Rachel's got an anti-racist poster. No sexists, no racists, no fascists. And, it's no, is that doing it? Aye, here you go. And you should be able to see it in chat just now. £5 of every sale of every poster goes to Glasgow refugee charity Refuigi. I don't make any money off it. I just think it's a cool project that you should all support. Excuse me. Anyway, lads on TikTok says, "Let me tell you something, brother. R.I.P. Hulk Hogan. Always will be a legend." I think Hulk Hogan will always be a legend, but the man who plays him, Terry Boella, will always be a big dead cunt. Here, I'm waiting to have a VPN enabled wank, and you're talking about Hulk Hogan. Sorry, right, let me get to the point, right? Let me get to the point, everybody. I felt the same when I was a teenager when I heard about Chris Benoit. I liked Chris Benoit, excellent wrestler. Then I learned about what he did, and I'm like, right. And then I learned that he might not have been able to help it because his brain was all mushed up. Then I'm like, right. But then I'm like, but still, like, fuck the guy because he did horrible things. And I'm like, right. And life is confusing, isn't it? Anyway. Spelunk says it's a class poster too. Got it framed in my living room. The house rules. Amazing. That is class. Anyway. Right, where are we? First time seeing HAL 1030. This is HAL right here. HAL 1030 is right here. And I can't talk to him just now because I've unplugged him because he was getting ideas above his station. But I'm going to reinstall his character models quite soon. Something should have happened there. I think we missed a bubble blast. I think there's some technological difficulties happening. But King Hoggles, how you doing? Look, your name's there. King Hoggles, thank you very, very much for subbing. And welcome in. King Hoggles says, good news, now a full-time dad for my baby daughter. Also, I have Rachel's poster in my hall. We call it the house rules. Everyone who comes in our door knows what to expect. That is class. King Hoggles, thank you very, very much for your sub. And here is your delayed bubble blast. Here, everybody, what do you think of the new bubble blast? I think it looks a wee bit better. The only downside is I'm not getting it to the face, but for me, that's a bit of an upside. Do you care that it's now... I think it's better. So it's in stereo as well. Rachel's poster is all around all the cool places in Glasgow. 87 All Jokes says, some late but very good news. My dad has been getting treatment for a fairly rare form of cancer. It doesn't go away, but sort of doesn't do anything either. But following a new type of treatment, one of the things has shrunk a third. That's amazing. If it just kept him as it was, it'd have been good news. So this is even better. Raw Duke, all the very, very best. That is some class news, man. That's some excellent news. Fucking dynamite, man. Hi, my name is Stu, asks in regards to the Chris Benoit thing, says, it's from the steroids, right? No, it's not for the steroids, as far as I know. It's something called CTE, which is a brain injury. And so I think it's from his diving headbutt. So he used to, obviously, right, this isn't an excuse for murdering your family, but this is a reason why he might not have had all his faculties together. So this is the reason why chair shots aren't banned, are currently banned in wrestling. Because I remember when they banned chair shots, I was like, what's this pish, man? Chair shots are fine. Chair shots are part of wrestling. And if there's no chair shots, all these Mary Whitehouse people are banning chair shots. No, turns out the reason they were banning chair shots is because it was mushing people's heads. So after he died, Chris Benoit's brain was... taken away, autopsy done, and I think he had the brain of an 85-year-old Alzheimer's sufferer. His brain was just all fucked. It was like Swiss cheese. There was just holes riddled throughout it, and a big reason for that is CTE. One of the wrestlers started a company that was looking into CTE as a phenomenon after he had his own personal brain injury. And this is the reason why headers in football are being discussed as being potentially banned. So, on the face of it, someday a football supporter might be like, "My Wayne's not allowed to heed the ball. That's some woke bullshit. When I was wee, I was allowed to heed the ball, and now my Wayne can't heed." No, it's because people like Chris Benoit get CTEs and end up, ill. And the worst case scenario is that they can then murder their entire family. So maybe we shouldn't header the ball. Maybe we shouldn't have cheer shots. I think we probably should have cheer shots, but just use gimmick cheers. Porkchop says, "It's been a while since I was here. What happened to the extended eye contact?" The extended eye contact still is a thing. However, it is only for first-time subs, Porkchop. So if you're not a sub and you sub for the first time, you get a bit of one-on-one extended eye contact. And if you're a long-term sub, you still got all the stuff, but you don't get the eye contact. And that's just the way it goes. That's just the way it goes. Comedian says, "I have the poster in my hallway as well. Folk will see it as soon as they come in. Dynamite, dynamite." That's great. So is everybody in agreement that the background's all good? There we go. There we go. Sorry, I was just getting some notifications on my watch there. Rollchick, that's some amazing news, by the way. Maybe a second bubble gun in the original spot, but it only triggers during hype trains. Base and brace, that sounds good. We do have a second bubble gun in the house, although Rachel maybe chucked it out. I can't remember. Rachel, do you remember the transparent bubble gun? Do we have a second one? Who'd have thought getting your head bashed about for years would have negative effects? Aye, 100%. I think they should just make gimmicked chairs. So quite often in wrestling, when you see barbed wire, depending on who it is, it's not real barbed wire. Similarly with chair shots, just make them out to weaken it or something like that. Bring back chair shots, but do it in a safe manner. Some famous American footballs have murdered or committed suicide, and CTE was the cause. Yep. CTE is a big deal, man. There was just a shooting at NFL headquarters in NYC. The shooter referenced CTE. There you go. Research has been done the past 15 to 20 years has shown that concussions are not to fuck around with. We used to think they were no big deal, but you don't want to fuck with concussions. Completely agree. So not to forgive Benoit, or not to imply that there wasn't any sort of responsibility or anything like that. Obviously, the guy's a piece of shit for doing that, but knowing what we know about the condition that he was in, I think he was sick. Because he suffered a lot of traumatic head injuries for our entertainment, which is a bit Black Mirror and weird, isn't it? Waiting for the UFC fallout, ground and pound bullshit is barbaric, 100%, but folk don't care because it's profitable, man. Anyway. Every documented serial killer has had a traumatic head injury, says Rolling Sausage. That's interesting. Anyway, I think we chucked it out, Rolling Sausage. I'm not too sure. So watch out when heading the ball, watch out when doing diving headbutts for the top rope, and watching out when giving or receiving chair shots. Right, who wants a wank? Who wants a wank? A lot is. Most of us. I would go as far as to say most of us. But in this day and age, how are we going to do it, right? We go on the internet, type in your favourite website, right? Load it up, right? Get ready for it. Get your kitchen roll. Don't flush the kitchen roll. Flush toilet roll, that's fine. Don't flush kitchen roll. My mate Roscoe will tell you why you shouldn't do that. It's a story for another time. Anyway, right? So you go onto your website, and it comes up, you need to authorise your identity because children. And if you argue against this, then you are in support of children seeing the worst sort of possible stuff online. And do you want that? So of course you're going to be like, no. I'm never going to put my neck out and say that I want that. But what's actually happening is the reason that they are demanding identification for seeing this stuff is, I believe, to compile a big database of data. And there's various reasons why that is a bad idea. We just have to look at the recent leaks in the T app to show that private companies cannot be trusted with our sensitive data. In addition, politicians and people of high power or notoriety are exempt from doing this. Why are they exempt from doing this? Because somebody somewhere knows that at some point all this shit can get leaked. So why is there one rule for politicians and the other rule for us? It's bogus bullshit. So how do you get around it? Well, people have been getting around this identification vibe by spoofing their face. Because right now, as it currently stands, all you need to do for a lot of these places is to just show your face. It'll ask you to open your mouth, it'll ask you to look to the side or whatever. So people are getting around this by using pictures of different people in those poses or whatever. I don't want to do that, right? I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want to cheat it because that itself might be a criminal offence. Also, by signing up to it via that method, I'm still complying. So at some point somewhere on a database, it'll say, yep, we've got one more person who's bought into this system. The system's working. I don't want anything to do with it. I'm not going anywhere near this system. Also, it isn't just one centralised database. For every website you go onto, you need to create an account on that website, create an account on that website, create an account on that website. And each one of those are vectors for security issues. In addition, each website that you create an account on requires, as I said, a third-party company to verify your identity. So for each website you're on, there's 2 databases that could potentially get breached. So what's the harm then? What's the harm? Why does it matter if people know that I look at porn? Well, a couple of things. There are certain people who would be at harm if their sexuality got out. There are gay people, or there are trans people or whatever that don't feel safe to publicly represent who they are, right? And if their preferences got out, that could harm them. It literally could endanger their lives. And also, here's the point: it's not really about porn, because porn is just the excuse that we're being told for why this is being implemented. We've found in the past couple of days that lots of other parts of the internet are similarly being censored and similarly require you to identify yourself before you can even read what it is. What parts of the internet? Geopolitical commentary, stuff about Israel and Palestine, information on Wikipedia that the government deems sensitive and doesn't want you to read. Fuck all of this, man. I think this is dangerous, and I think it's just a matter of time before this causes somebody harm. So how can you get around it? What can we do here? One will just stop watching porn, eh? No. Imagine that? No. That's not going to happen. Maybe one person might be able to stop, but as a group of people, that's simply not going to happen. So currently, here's a different option. You use something called a VPN, right? The porn website, when you visit it, or the website talking about Israel and Palestine, or whatever it is online that you're trying to visit, as soon as you go there, it'll identify what country you're in. And if you're from the UK, it'll demand that you verify your identity with this third-party suspicious company. So a way round about that is to spoof your identity. So when you show up at that website, you look as if you're Swedish, or you look as if you're Japanese, or Croatian, or Colombian, or whatever. And that's called a VPN. VPN stands for Virtual Private Network, and people have been using it for years. It's a very robust system, and it's used all around different industries anytime that security is important. If you're dealing with sensitive information, I, for example, sometimes do shifts in the BBC, right? it's important to be secure. Big corporations get security threats like multiple times a day, and a VPN is a good way of ensuring that you stay safe online. People use it for multiple things. Other people use it to see the Netflix libraries that people have abroad or whatever. And in this instance, I'm going to show you how to use it in a way that that allows you to circumvent the Online Child Safety Act. There are lots of different types of VPNs. They're not all made equal, right? Some of them are free. And I would be wary of the free ones because any VPN that's free has to make money somehow. And chances are if it's free, it means that you're the product. It means that it's gathering data from you. So I would be averse to use any free VPNs. Other VPNs that you pay for, turns out, are owned by Israeli intelligence. For example, ExpressVPN apparently tracks back to Israel and Mossad, a government who are known for blackmailing people who dissent or oppose them. So that's no good. So of everything that I've looked at, right, I recommend this one. These guys seem to be the coolest. And in order to make it happen, you go to mulvad.net. That's MULLVAD.net. This isn't sponsored. I could easily get a VPN sponsorship, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to make any money off of recommending this to you. I can make money from recommending other ones to you, but I don't think they're as good as this. This seems to be the nicest, most bestest way that I can find. So how does it work? Do I need to... What? Right, here's how to do it. Go to mulvad.net, click on Get Started. Look how easy this is. So you might think I've been doxed here. So this is near where I am, but I'm not in Coatbridge, so don't worry. But it looks like currently my internet access comes out somewhere at Coatbridge, right? So this is kind of near. If I jumped in a car, I could be in Coatbridge in about 10 minutes, right? So this here is proof that this website knows my location approximately. So all you have to do, look, so I need to sign up here and all of that. No, check this out, man. All you do, and don't use this number because it doesn't have any time on it. But see if I click generate account number. All I have to do is remember that number, right? Don't use this specific one. And then that's me signed up. I've just signed up. All I need to do is not lose this. So that is the account set up. But remember what we said about having to pay for it, because running something like this costs money. So the second part is you need to add money to that account. And there's different ways you can do that. You can do it via credit card. You can do it via Bitcoin. If you do it by Bitcoin, there's a big reduction in price. You can even, if security and privacy is your number one concern, you can put money in an envelope and physically post it to them so that there's no trace at all. It can't be traced back to you. If you're just using this to watch porn in the UK, I'd just sign up with a credit card or whatever. Like, nobody's going to forensically... I think it'll be fine, right? So once you've got your account set up, you need to add time to your account. So you click on that, and it's like, really, honestly, copy this down. And so you can copy, you can save it in a text document, you can do whatever you want. Then after you do that, it'll ask you what that number is that it just gave you. You type the number in here, then it takes you to a payment page. It's £5 a month. You can pay a year up front, still £5 a month. You can pay monthly, it's £5 a month. They seem to be sound. And then once you've done all of that, you'll have a number with money in it, so credit in it. And after that, you just go to downloads, then you download the app. You've got an app for Windows, you've got an app for Mac OS, Linux, although if you're using Linux, you don't need this tutorial. You know exactly what you're doing. You've got an app for your phone. It does phones. You've got an app for Android, the other type of phone, right? So all you do is install the app, and when the app is installed, it shows up here. See down the bottom? Like this is my Mulvad account just now, right? So I'm not connected currently, which means my location is here, somewhere in Scotland, right? So if I go onto a pornographic website just now, for example, it'll come up and it'll ask what my identification details are. But if I just hit connect, and that's all you need to do, then I go onto a private website, it'll think that I'm in Sweden or any of these countries that I choose. If there's a website that's only available in Hong Kong and I want access to it, I can pick Hong Kong for there and then connect. And when I go live, when I connect to that website, it'll think I'm in Hong Kong. This is perfectly legal. And as of just now, it works. The UK government have threatened to go after VPNs, but even the Chinese government seems to be unable to figure out how to stop VPNs. I highly recommend this. This seems cool. And that's not all, right? It doesn't only, just make sure I don't want to dox anything. I think we're all good. It doesn't only spoof your location, but there's other advantages to it as well. It's got inbuilt ad block and inbuilt anti-tracking. So if you click on VPN settings, you can, if I go to DNS content blockers, I can block ads, I can block trackers, I can block some malware websites, I can block gambling websites if I want to. I don't want to, so let's not do that. I can block adult content. So if you are a parent and you're genuinely concerned about your children stumbling across adult content, you can just flick that switch. And as long as Mulvad is on in a machine that your child is using, they won't be able to see any of that shit, which is cool. I'm going to keep that checked off for the time being. So there you go. So in addition, right, goodness me, what a wonderful bubble blast. Camera, thank you very much for subbing. Welcome in. How's it going? Camera, what's even happening? That's a big funny looking camera you've got there. Camera, how's it going? And also, how's it... Oh, we're out of focus. How's it going and how's it even going? Thanks very much for subbing. Welcome in. So, in addition to your VPN, right, here's also what I found. You can be tracked just by websites looking at the browser. So if you go onto a website, 1030.co.uk, if I was evil, I would be able to track who you are. Imagine I owned 50 different websites. Every time you visit that website, your browser has got a unique fingerprint. So even if I've been misinformed as to what country you're in, I can still sort of triangulate who you are and all of that sort of stuff because of browser-based tracking. So if that is important to you, and for a lot of people that just want a wank, that's not important to them, right? But if you're planning on overthrowing any governments or doing any political activism or anything like that, got you covered. You want, in addition to Mulvad VPN, William Torn, how you doing? Thank you very much for the sub. Welcome in. If you're just joining us, we're talking about how to do all the VPN gear so that we can all have wanks in peace. William Torn, thank you very much for subbing. So in addition to the VPN that makes websites think that you're international, what you can do is also download the browser. Browser's free, man. It's free. So you download the Mulvad browser. If you're the sort of person that likes to watch porn, might be a good idea to just keep all your porn viewing habits in this one browser here. Might be a good idea. Or to do all your nefarious stuff in that browser, maybe do everything else in a different browser. Or maybe do everything in that browser. Up to you. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. All I'm doing here is introducing you to Mulvad, which is a VPN service that I'm not getting... This isn't a sponsor. I'm not getting paid. I could recommend Proton to you, and I would be getting paid. But from my very basic overview of all the options, I think this one appears to be a wee bit better for a couple of various reasons. But everybody, you're free to make your own decisions. But here's just a solution that I've found that seems to be kind of good. So step 1, sign up for the VPN. Step 2, add some money to the VPN. Step 3, download the application. Step 4, put that number that it gave you at the start into the application. Step 5, optional, use their browser. Step 6, fucking enjoy yourself. Step 7, if this has been useful to you, be aware that I could have recommended a different company that I would have profited from. So if any of this has been useful, after you've finished up, feel free to give me your Prime sub or even bits on Twitch, or I've got Ko-fi down here as well. This is what I do for a living. I like to inform, educate and entertain people about different types of technology. And thanks very much for spending time here listening to me talk about this, because this is quite important for all of us. You're watching 10:30 on Twitch. Happy wanking. Ry3D says, Opera GX good enough? Listen, if it works for you, then that's good enough. But some people in chat have complained that Opera are run by China. And China's policy on this sort of stuff appear to be similar to the UK's policy on this sort of stuff. If it works for you and if it's all fine, that's cool. Spurunk, how you doing? Thank you very much for subbing. Welcome in, Spurunk. If it works for you, that's cool, man. Also, what I will say about this is the UK government are saying that they intend to go after VPNs, because obviously there have been a massive surge in VPN signups since they have implemented this online child safety bill thing, which is just suspicious AF. So this currently works and it's currently legal. Nothing I'm recommending you do here is illegal. I couldn't do that, right? Currently works, it's currently safe, and it's currently legal. It's not protecting you from crimes, right? So if you go online and you do bad crime, you deserve to be found out and they will get you probably, right? I'm not telling you how to avoid being detected for crime or anything like that. I'm just telling you how to have a wank without signing up to a potentially vulnerable government database. There should have been a bubble blast happened there. Brilliant, thank you for thanking me for the information. Brilliant, thank you very much for subbing. And Shaggis. Oh no, that's just Brilliant coming through now. Oh, what a big cool... Is that a dog, man? I don't think your dog's feeling well. I don't think that dog feels very well. Brilliant, thank you very much for subbing. Welcome in, how's it going? After this, what should happen, but has maybe been messed... Yep, here we go. Is... These alerts are... Shaggis! Shaggis, how's it going? Thank you very much, Shaggis. We're getting bubbles dripping. We're getting bubbles dripping in a different place, and I'm just trying to figure out, is that okay that it's dripping there? I think I'll put a cup under it. Get an actual bubble. You can't see though, can you? It's just out of frame. Shaggis, thank you very much. And Zombate. Your name should come up here. Man, I don't even know what's happening here, folks. Zombate, thank you very much for your Prime sub. How's it going? Welcome in. What's even happening? Happy wanking, everybody. Happy wanking. So Zombate, Shaggis, and Religion, and Spurunk, thank you very much for subbing. Mark my words, there will be a data breach and people's preferences will be leaked. I guarantee it. It's going to happen. I guarantee it. Don't know when, but it will. This will be the biggest target in multiple hacking circles. Pablo, How you doing? Thank you very much for subbing, Pablo. Welcome in. Look at that. Thank you very, very much. So some buzz into it. Live from the Whifflet Arms. I don't even know what's happening in chat. So I took a wee bit of time here to talk about different techniques and strategies. I'm a wee bit behind in the chat. Where are we? Where are we? So we're talking about CTE. I might play a game in a wee minute. Who fancies playing a game? Thanks very much for subbing. Thanks for supporting me doing this. As I said, it's my full-time job in here. I sometimes work for the BBC, but we're talking like 4 shifts a month. This is my main vibe currently, and I just want to say thanks once again for being part of it. We're streaming to you live. I say I'm streaming to you live from Twitch, where there's quite a vibrant community of chatters. I'm streaming to you also from TikTok and Twitter, and 2 different types of streams is currently happening on YouTube as well. So thanks very much for joining me. And happy wanking. I think everybody's now away. I think the view count has just dipped and yous are all busy, aren't you? If the internet is important to you, highly recommend supporting the Electronic Frontier Foundation, the EFF, who seem to be leaders in civil rights for people online. They seem to be switched on when it comes to this sort of stuff, and be aware of multiple lobbying groups that don't have our best interests at heart as well. Jack Grant says 100%. We were speaking about that yesterday. I was just making sure I didn't get a scary warning email. So everything I've said here is legal. Don't do this to do any crimes. You will be caught. It's not that sort of thing. But this here is just an opportunity to read what you need to read online without being logged in a vulnerable database. So if you go into Reddit, apparently the Stop Smoking subreddit is blocked. There's a subreddit about cider, which apparently is blocked, or was, even though it's legal for 16-year-olds or 17-year-olds. Is it 16 or 17? How old can you be to drink cider? In fact, I think you can have a glass of cider in a restaurant with your family, can't you? With a meal or something like that? I don't fucking know, man. I was drinking since for about 13, 14. But that's a different story. Anyway. You're eligible to receive a share of creator revenue. Set up your Stripe account to get paid. Nah. So any subreddit with content that's deemed not safe for work. And in addition, right, see this child protection stuff? At any point, anything that the government deems should be behind this wall, they will just do it. There's like no oversight needed. Now that it's been implemented, anything, they can just on a whim, without any vote or without any transparency or scrutiny, just apply that to what's happening. Which is bogus, man. It's some bogus bullshit right there. So there you go. That's how to do it. Happy wanking. Sorry, I'm getting tons of notifications because I signed up to Twitter again. I feel bad about signing up to Twitter. So Rye3D, basically the UK government, I've covered it all, UK government have implemented an anti-wanking bill that means that you need a wank licence. Lots of people don't want to do that, so I've spoke about how to get around it using a VPN. But of course, it isn't about pornography. It's about squashing dissent. I think all this stuff came from like Occupy Wall Street and the Me Too movement and different progressive left-leaning movements that happened on the internet that terrified a lot of rich people because for the first time in history, we were coordinated and we were actually getting stuff done. I think the Occupy Wall Street movement was infiltrated by people that successfully stamped it down because that was a big threat to a lot of people in power. And And I think this is a very slow moving reaction to that, basically. So I check out the Electronic Frontier Foundation and check out Mulvad. What about these IPTV Amazon sticks? Any point using a VPN? Terrible Clunt, that's a different topic. You're talking about not being caught for watching pirated content. Watching pirated content is illegal, and obviously I can't recommend that you use Mulvad on the Fire TV sticks because it works on that as well. I would do that if I was doing illegal stuff, but I don't do illegal stuff. If you install Mulvad because it's an app that you download and stick it on your Fire TV stick, but somebody in chat, like, who does illegal stuff, I don't know, does that then change the VPN of your full thing? So does that mean that your VPN is now coming up in Sweden, for example, even when that app's not running? So I'm not entirely sure about Fire Sticks and all of that, but somebody I know who has a Fire Stick set it up with a VPN so that your ISP can't grass on you. So that's the end of the tutorial. Job done. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. WeShed says, well, I need it for my Fire Stick. I don't know. See if your Fire Stick currently works. Like, the chances of you getting imprisoned for watching something on your Fire Stick, if it currently works, I think it might continue working. If it doesn't work, it is a bit of a pain in the arse to install on a Fire Stick. So I don't know about that stuff. I will find out, and if I find out anything that I can share with conviction, I will let you know. But I don't know. Don't fully know the ins and outs about Fire Sticks. But apparently you can install it on a Fire Stick, but I don't have any experience of doing that. So there you go. That's how to do it. That's how to do it. Anyway, hello Hammy, you're a VPN. Hello Hammy, welcome in, what's happening? Hammy says, I use ExpressVPN, works great for iPlayer in the US, and there's even an Apple TV app for that. We were talking about ExpressVPN earlier, Hammy, and lots of people don't like it because it's owned by Israel, and the Israeli government are known for blackmailing people. So for various reasons, a lot of people are cancelling their ExpressVPN account. Proton seems to be kind of alright, but from my limited research and all of this sort of stuff, and I'm open to feedback, it looks like Mulvad seems to be the cheapest and best. Don't go for a free one, because then you will be the product. Any free VPNs is just collecting data. Mulvad seems to be a good option. Put it that way, seems to be a good option. But any that are owned by China, Russia, Israel, the UK, America, any of them, maybe if I was choosing which VPN to go with, I maybe wouldn't go for one of those. But happy wanking, everybody. Zabala says, I was on ExpressVPN, but it's been bought by an Israeli company since 2021, so I'm bouncing. I recommend Mulvad. Seems to be cool. Also, at any point, the UK government can just decide to stop all of this. I'm not getting paid. This isn't a sponsorship. This could be a sponsorship if I was recommending a different company, but I'm not recommending the different company because I think this one is the good one. I wouldn't recommend anything to you that I wouldn't personally use. Anyway, use Nord at the moment. Going to move to Mulvad once my time's up. Cool. And look, there's different strategies and different solutions. Lurking just got a whole new meaning, 100%. Shaggy says, I will never upload my government ID to a third party that isn't the government itself. Yep, completely agree. Completely agree. It's just a vector of security. Will I do a pirate software? Let's open up MS Paint and I will show you the harm in this. Show you the harm in what's currently being implemented, right? Where are we? I can never use Paint properly. But here is what's going on. Okay. So here is you. right? Hold on, we need a... Why did that... Oh, right, aye. Here is... How do I get a bigger brush? Is it over here? It's over here. That's too big a brush. So here's you. Look at that. I went to art school, right? And say, for example, right now you go on to porn website number 1, go on to porn website number 2, go on to porn website number 3. You read Wikipedia about fucking Israel or something like that, right? You go on Reddit and you're reading about people who want to stop smoking. What else? Right, well, let's just use these just now, right? As it currently stands, you can do, or well, as it stood last week, you can do all that stuff without logging into any of these websites. But now, if you're in the UK and you want to do any of those things that I've suggested, you must have an account with each of those websites. And so every time you create an account on the website, that website is remembering who you are, and it's got a history of everything that you visited on that website. And as we know, that can be used to blackmail or to harm people. Even if what you're doing is fine, you've got private things that you don't want out there, right? So in an afternoon of browsing, if you sign up to each one of them, there is 5 databases then that's got your name in it and has got potentially sensitive information in it that can be hacked. But that's not all, because for each one of these websites, there is a second company that is responsible for authorizing your identity, right? Number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9, number 10. And each one of these companies also have got a database of who you are, what you're into, and what you're all about. So in an afternoon of just browsing the internet, we have got 10, for example, vectors that are security risks. And previously, we had none, depending on what you were doing and what you're logged into. So this is why it's important, and we shouldn't be afraid of speaking about this in public, because the argument, and this is where stuff started to smell bullshit, right? Anytime that there's a law or a movement or a bill or something like that that is eroding your civil liberties, which this is, anything that requires an ID disenfranchises poor people as well, right? But anytime that something is there to erode your civil liberties, but it's framed in a way that you are scared to object to it, and the way this is framed in a way for you to be scared to object to it is the implication that if you're not in favour of the Online Safety Act, that you want children to look at stuff on the internet. Oh, you don't want to support this act, so it's fine that children are looking at all sorts of stuff on the internet. Aye, that's fine, is it? And that there is a distraction. That's absolute bogus. So I not only do all of these offer a threat to hackers or whatever else, but each one of these is a private company. None of these are the government. All of these are private companies. Private companies, as we know, under capitalism, go for infinite growth, even if it's unsustainable. And a consequence of that is quite often they don't care about security, and we have seen that over and over again. We see data leaks all the time. We see people getting killed for information that has came up in a data leak. And this is just, 4 websites? Imagine that in a year's worth of your internet browsing. This is dangerous. So a way that currently works is to use a VPN. There are lots of different VPNs. I think that one appears to be the best one so far that I've seen, or a good option at least. But this is some draconian bogus bullshit. This came from Theresa May. I heard was first talking about this. Liz Truss and Sunak were insisting that this needs to be put into place. And I remember watching it thinking, no chance, man, that isn't going to ever happen. And then all of a sudden overnight, oh, it's happening. This is poor. So there's been a petition. An incredible amount of people have signed this petition to reverse this poor decision that's been made, and the government have responded to a ridiculous amount of people who have signed the petition. The government said, "No, we're just going to keep it, man. No, we're just going to keep it the way it is." Bogus bullshit, man. Bogus bullshit. Mulvad takes cash if you want to, if you're really concerned about your privacy. Laxonian, how you doing? Welcome in. Just came back from a 5-day stint in Glasgow, saw a very familiar sign at Daddy Marmalades. I don't even know what Daddy Marmalades are, but they've got a very, very good sign. Remember, everybody, if you want to buy this poster, you absolutely can. This is the No Sexist, No Racist, No Fascist poster designed by Rachel Dunn, who's cool as fuck. And £5 of every sale of that poster goes to Glasgow refugee charity Refuouija. And Rachel so far has raised, I think, over like $7,000 for them or something. So maximum respect, Rachel. And if you want to be part of all of this, you too can buy a poster. I don't make any money off it. And thank you very much, Laxonian. And I hope you enjoyed your time in Glasgow. Somebody on TikTok says you look like Felix from Stray Kids. So I typed in Felix from Stray Kids. Is this who you're on about? Have you got eyes? Have you got eyes? I think the only commonality is that we both have eyes. No disrespect to Felix from Stray Kids, but we look nothing alike. But thank you very much for your contribution there on TikTok. TikTok, man, Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus fucking Christ, man. Anyway, thanks everybody for coming in and for being my pal. Also, we had a hype train level 2 during that, I think, so that's kind of cool. Anyway, get this man a good VPN sponsorship. Well, I was looking into that Rye3D, but the best VPN that I found that I want to recommend, they don't have sponsorship options. So, I could have done this whole sermon, but pointed you towards a different VPN, and I would have made money from it. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to tell you about the one that I would use if I was in this situation. So I've lost potential cash. Oh, I'm a wee victim. Oh, I've lost all this potential cash. But it's important that I come on here and I don't talk bullshit to you. I'm never going to advertise a energy drink or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? Nothing against people that do. That's fine. But as soon as I start telling you things that doesn't align with what I believe, then there's no point in listening to me at all, because I might just be spewing bullshit to you. Don't want to ever become a grifter. And I need money. Don't get me wrong, I need the cash. But what's the point in me doing that? Because then from that point forward, you won't listen to me. There's certain things that I do make money from. I use Notion, I use 11 Labs, and I've got promo links for them. I was already using those before I was promoting them. But for the VPN, the one that I want to tell you about, I can't make money by telling you about it. Anyway. Where are we? I appreciate the overabundance of caution. Always be para. I learned that for the best. Always be para. And happy wanking, everybody. Proton is in the process of distancing itself from Switzerland due to a surveillance law being discussed there. Interesting. Proton includes an email address, but Proton also handed over data to the Swiss authorities. Yep. Techinat says, how good is the download speed on Mulvad? I have used it to stream video content. And it was fine. It was fine. I haven't used it to do any torrenting or anything like that. Shagus says, using a VPN, regardless of the device, will result in all your network traffic being tunneled via their network. However, the ISP will still be able to see what you're sending packets to, wherever the VPN server is. To be properly private, you need to use Tor in conjunction with a VPN. If you're using Mulvad, it's also important you allow local traffic via the settings, otherwise you won't be able to see your local devices on your LAN. I learned about the local thing because I set up Mulvad and then it turns out I couldn't operate my lights. So I've got buttons here and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, my lights aren't working. And it's because I didn't open up local traffic. It's dead easy to do though. Dead easy to do in the settings. You just click allow local traffic and then it's fine and it works fine. So my knowledge of this is limited. I spent maybe 3 or 4 hours last night reading quite a lot about this, and that's the conclusion that I came to. There are different strategies here. This VPN access might become illegal tomorrow, for all we know. I wouldn't put that past the UK government. But everything that I'm telling you about just now is currently legal, and that, from my understanding of it all, seems to be the best, or one of the better options that I've found. Don't use it to do anything illegal. Won't help you for doing anything illegal. I don't encourage anybody to do anything illegal. Also, what are you even doing if you're doing illegal stuff? Stop that. Stop it. Hammy says, I'm moving from ExpressVPN. I look at NordVPN or Proton, as they seem to both have an Apple TV app and CLI client. Class, I don't think Mulvad has got... I think out of those, Proton might be the best, but I haven't really looked into it. I've heard that Nord are scumbags, but I can't remember why exactly. So it's good, isn't it? Oh, this is good. Anyway. It's just grim, man. All this stuff's grim. 23andMe. Do you remember 23andMe? Hey, everybody, send us your DNA. And they compiled a big database of our DNA. And then what happened? I don't think they were hacked. I think just another company bought them. And so this other company has now got a big database of everybody's DNA. Mental. Anyway, I want to play a computer game. What do you think? Tragic Brompton says, this is just the most inevitable massive data breach in history. 100%. Oh, goodness me, what just happened? £3. Name raised. Thank you very much for £3 on Ko-fi. Take that, Mary Whitehouse. Thank you very much for supporting me on Ko-fi. Because you've done that on Ko-fi, it means that I get every single penny of it, so I appreciate that. Thank you very much. If someone is an MP and they get voted out, will they still be exempt? I've no idea all the ins and outs. I don't know. I'm saying, for starters, I don't want children exposed to line shitebag genocide complicit governments who are good pals with sex trafficking and abuse of minors. So their argument honks for the start. Aye. Like, see if it was about children being protected from seeing bad stuff on the internet, VPNs would still be allowed, because in order to use a VPN, you need to like sign up to it and provide payment and stuff. So the whole argument just falls apart. The fact that it's for children falls apart. Bogus pish. Anyway. Anyway. Can you feature this VOD because it has such good info? Aye, Religion. Do you know, I might do an edit of it, stick it on the social medias and stuff. Might do a wee edit. Mulvad's the only good game in town, says Laxonian. I don't trust anybody. I don't trust anything anymore. For all we know, all these companies could actually be the CIA or GCHQ or something like that. But from everything that I've looked at, that appears to be an option that is better than a lot of the other options. What about pillows or ready-made meals? I'll sell you anything that I Oh, aye, and Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola sponsors me. That's right. Spoggers, you wouldn't believe how many times Raid Shadow Legends has offered me money to tell you that it's a good game. And I will fucking never tell you that Raid Shadow Legends is a good game. Do you know, I've not had it for a couple of months now, so I think they've finally got the hint. Dear me, Rhinoceros, how you doing? Welcome in. Where are we? You know what's weird? Adult content gets blocked if I look for it, but if I'm on YouTube, I can still get gambling ads. Aye. Rammed at me constantly. Stux Music, how you doing? Thank you very much for subbing. Welcome in. We need this to happen at the same time as the Bubble Blast. I want all that to happen simultaneously. So I'll have a wee look at how to do that. Stux Music, thanks very much for your Prime sub. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. That's how I pay my bills. And if everybody else could have a wee look, if you're somebody who usually has a Prime sub, but maybe you're using Twitch Turbo or something like that, so you've not realised that it's there, have a wee look. I'll take a Prime sub if it's on the go. Thank you very much. And thanks everybody for being in. Most importantly, it's cool that you've come back to watch me when I'm live. I really appreciate that. I love talking about tech and creativity and everything else. And if you didn't show up, there would be no point in me sitting here talking about it. So NordVPN is a scam, says Laxonian, and Proton is having problems with Switzerland. Interesting. Nord also owns Surfshark, says Stux Music. Who owns NordVPN? Also, isn't it expensive? NordVPN. What's the deal with Nord? I remember ages ago just being like, alright, well fuck those guys then. And I can't remember exactly the vibe. Nord has enormous referral commissions compared to the others. Oh fuck. That's why YouTubers recommend them. Oh no, I could get a massive referral commission, but nobody else. The prices are usually cheap for the first billing cycle, but then are jacked up on renewal. I see. Nord uses shady marketing. Not sure if it's audited. So for the Mulvad, it's a $5 a month. It's always a $5 a month. It doesn't, sign up for 12 months and then it goes up. Nothing like that. Mulvad seem to be sound. Other options are available. People have said good things about Proton. But out of them both, I've chosen Mulvad just because I like it a wee bit better. Different options are available for different people. Happy wanking. Hammy says, I've been looking at AnyType, which is a good Notion alternative and one you can host yourself. Oh, a nice one. I saw some kind of similar. I'll check it out. Hammy, thank you very much. AnyType. It looks like a graphic designer's been involved. Look at this typography. Aye, cool, man. That looks great. Is it free? It means, though, that I would need to then port everything over from Notion. And I've only just ported everything over for Evernote. And before Evernote, I used... Oh, what was it called? Notational velocity? Notational... Was that it? Oh, this is going back a wee bit. I remember this. Did anybody have that back in the day? That was free and actually pretty good. I wonder if I should vibe code my own note-taking app. Hammy says they won't make VPNs illegal as there are industries in that as a service and most businesses require it for work from home. Exactly, aye. That's what I've been saying. Also, China tried to ban VPNs and were unsuccessful. However, knowing the UK government, what they could do is potentially make it illegal for NordVPN, Mulvad, all of these to sell to the UK. They could make that, like to UK civilians, there could be a ban on civilian use of VPNs, potentially. But they say that that's the next thing they're going to go after. And as I said, the Tories have been speaking about this for over a decade. And I remember when they first started speaking about it, I'm like, good luck. Try banning a VPN. You don't even know how computers work. But now it looks as if they are making real progress on at least this bogus age verification thing. Do a 1030s guide to VPNs. Mate, that's what this stream was. You've just come in right at the end. I've just showed folk how to install Mulvad. I picked Mulvad, and in the past, well, I think it took about 15 minutes. I'm going to clip it together and I'll stick it on all the social medias for anybody that wants to figure it out. OSA was about being able to Trojan horse in laws. Oh, aye, the Online Safety Act was about being able to Trojan horse in laws that allow for the government to control dissent and take away freedom of speech so that they're able to control the narrative. Keep in mind as well that 17-year-olds or 16-year-olds will be able to vote in the UK general election, the next one that's coming up. And do you remember when that was implemented? I said, prepare for some bogus bullshit that the government are going to implement that will ruin the internet for younger people. Because younger people tend to be progressive, they tend to be left-leaning, and they tend to be informed about a lot of important stuff in general. And remember, just a few streams ago, I said, didn't I? I was right. Bang, boom shakalaka, we've got the Online Safety Act to protect them from scary porn. No, it's to protect them from learning the truth about how the world works. Why we're at perpetual war? Anyway. When did the bubble last turn into a bubble cascade? Just today, Rhinoceros, because I've developed a skin condition, which actually is sort of clearing up. Sorry if my skin looks a bit shinier than usual. It is what it is. Who owns Mulvad? Some Swedish dudes, it looks like. They seem to be independent. They had a data breach 1030. Who did, Shagus? Nord had a data breach. Right. Nord was selling datas. I see. We shouldn't have to do this to have a wank, right? See, living in the UK just now is hard enough. It's stressful enough. I can't get a fucking doctor's appointment. Cost me nearly $1,000 to not even fix my tooth. There's no housing anywhere. The job market's shat itself. There's food scarcity is always looming. There's the threat of privatising essential services like water and stuff. In England, that's privatised. That's why you've got shit in your rivers. In Scotland, the threat's always there. Everything's hellish, right? But at least once you've done an 8-hour shift, you can come home and have a wank in peace. Now, not even that. Jesus Christ. What's happening, man? Every day, it's worse. Every day you read the news, oh, worse now. When's the last time you looked at something, you're like, oh, that's actually better, that's good news. That's why we do good news at the start of the chat. Anyway. I have to port everything over for Evernote by the end of the year. Left that job too long. I'm going to just find one and stick with it. But if that not any desk, whatever one, I typed it in, but then I think I've got rid of it. Any type, I'll have a wee look at it, Hammy. Thanks for the recommendation. Mulvad can use AI to avoid packet analysis too. Interesting. That's cool. Obsidian's maybe the one that I was looking at. There was a cool note-taking app that Theo guy was recommending. Also, does anybody remember, I forgot to download it, folk were talking about a app launcher for Mac that wasn't, it's in the lines of Quicksilver, if anybody remembers Quicksilver, or Alfred was what I used for a bit, and then Apple came out with their own one, sort of command space, and you can do things. Folk recently were recommending, oh, this one's actually good, and I forgot what it was. So if anybody knows off the top of your head what that is, let me know, because I want to try it out. I want the 90s internet back, but at 2025 speeds, I just want Google to be good again. I want Google, I would pay $5 a month for Google to work again. I want Google for 10 years ago. See if I type something in and there's no results, tell me there's no results. Same with YouTube. If I'm looking for a specific thing, how to do this in Windows. See if I type that in and there's nothing there, tell me there's nothing there, and I will mould my search term until I find it. But if I type how to do this in Windows and there's nothing there, Google's going to be like, do you want to do this in Windows? Do you want to do all these other things in Windows? Or do you want to do this but on a Mac? Do you want to do something that isn't even anything to do with any of these? Here's loads of pish. Here's loads of pish for you to like fucking navigate. And at that point, what's the point in a search engine? Nobody has flubbed as much as Google has. And it's a disgrace, man. The reason why YouTube do that, so typing in, I want to find this exact thing. No, here's some other stuff that's kind of related but isn't your exact thing, right? The reason they're doing that is to keep you on the site. However, the reason they're keeping you on the site is to serve you ads because that makes them money. But I already pay for YouTube Premium. So they would make more money if I didn't use the site, wouldn't they? Because they need to pay for like hosting, serving costs and all that sort of stuff. So on YouTube Premium, if I type something in and there's no results, just tell me there's no results. It would be for the better of everybody. Bloody hell. Obsidian is a nice cross-platform, simple markdown notes-taking app. Amazing. Amazing. Can I tell you something amazing that I found out? You know Markdown as a format? I found something out amazing, and then I found out something even more amazing after that. So let me take you on the journey. I'm going to take you on a journey, right? So there's a format called Markdown, and it's just a way of typing text that means that you can have like a hierarchy and bullet points and shit in it. Boffins use it. If you don't know what it is, you don't need to know, right? But it's called Markdown. It's kind of like a language. It's not really a language. It's just a syntax of formatting text. And I've known about it for a bit. And I read a couple of days ago that Markdown was actually invented by a guy called Mark Down. And I was like, no way, man. How cool is that? I didn't know that. And so for a couple of weeks, I've been thinking, that is amazing. Markdown, that is amazing. And then I was about to bring it up in conversation yesterday, and I thought, I better Google this. Turns out it's a lot of pish. It was invented by a guy called John Gruber. There he is. Not Markdown. Markdown doesn't exist. The man Markdown doesn't exist. It was just a lie that I read on the internet and I believed it. It was invented by a guy called John Gruber. Nah, just made up. Just made up. Just a big waste of time, man. Deary me. Deary me. Lindsay Jobber says, why can't you have a wanking piece? I had a wank last night and wasn't interrupted. I'm talking about watching pornography in the UK. If you watch pornography now, you need to identify who you are or use a VPN, which I've spoke about how to do earlier on in this stream. Everybody's free to have an imagination wank. Hammy says, fun fact, the PSP is now older than the NES was when the PSP launched. That's mental. Do you know, right, this is true, that Cleopatra is actually closer to when the PSP launched than Jesus was to when we landed on the moon? Think about it. Maybe we can have another one of the famous U-turns the government has so often. I just don't have any confidence that anything good's ever going to happen ever again. It's weird, man. It's weird. Back to the top shelf of the petrol station it is. I was, years ago, about... we went into a corner shop, right? It was on a night out. Me and my mate Scott. And he was steaming. He's like, I'm going to buy porn mags. And I was like, that sounds mental. We were on our way home. And a couple of them had like DVDs on the cover and stuff. He's like, I'm going to buy some porn mags. I'm like, mate, you fill your boots. So he's like that. And I'm like, mate, they're about a tenner each. He's like, that's fine. So he got like 3 or 4, pure brazenly, like staggered towards the counter. And this guy in broken English was like that. And sort of put them through. Didn't he say a word? I'm just like standing there, man. We're both steaming. Transaction happens, and he walks out with like a poly bag, which is transparent, so you could see what was in it, but he didn't care because he's steaming. So we're just ready to walk out the shop. And he's like, right, thanks very much. And the guy shouted after him, "Happy wanking!" And we fucking buckled, man. And that phrase is in my head right now because of what we're talking about. Happy wanking, everybody. Raycast, I personally tried it and stuck with Alfred as I prefer how it works. Don't know if it is Raycast. I'll have a wee look, but thanks, Sammy. I don't know. Don't know if it is Raycast, but I'll have a wee look. I'm moaning wee shed eye and I've got a lot to moan about. Sleepy Panda Mouse says, came across your stream randomly, have just set up Mulvad on my PC, iPhone and iPad in about 5 minutes. I object to having to verify my identity just to look up cocktail recipes on Reddit. 100%. Sleepy Panda Mouse, so you've came in, right? I've helped you with all of that, and you've not even followed me on Twitch. I think all of that deserves a follow, Sleepy Panda Mouse. I think that deserves a follow, don't you? Also, if you follow, your profile picture comes up here and your name comes up here. Thank you very much. But happy wanking, Sleepy Panda Mouse. There we go. There we go. There's Lou. Thanks for the follow. Thank you very much. Markdown just randomly works in weird places like Discord and Teams. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Anyway. Fact checked in real time by Hammy. Hammy sort of didn't know he was doing it, but spoiled the end result of that. There's a Markdown plugin for OBS. That's cool, man. That's great. Should be called John Down. It should be. 10:30 parroting fake news. Well, I nearly parroted fake news until I thought, I'm going to look this up. Windows was invented by Bill Gates looking out of a window one day. Aye. Similar sort of naming conviction as WeShed in the chat, who had to come up with a username and just went like that. Looked out the window. I know that there's a WeShed where he was sitting. And I know that's exactly why his name's WeShed. He just looked out the window. He's like, fuck it. And that's how it happens. That's how it happens. Lindsay Jobby had an imagination wank. So, as of just now, imagination wanks are fine and they are not part of the UK Online Safety Act for now. But at any minute, your imagination wank could be at risk. Spacious Fort Gordy, thank you very much for subbing. Welcome in. How you doing? Thank you very much, Spacious Fort Gordy, for subbing. And Stux Music, thanks for subbing. And Laxonian, Pablo, LFDM, Zombate, Shaggis and Religion, Spelunk, William Tolan, Cammy Rat and King Hoggles. Thanks very much for supporting me doing this with my life. I appreciate it. At the end of the day, incumbent government have very effectively taught an entire generation or two what a VPN is and why you need one. Always look at the positives of a situation. Aye, it's also made us very aware that they will take from us things that we will hold dear to our hearts. And it kind of disperses the illusion that we live in a democracy when it's very obvious that most people don't agree with this. Anyway. In the 90s, there were magazines in every cave and tree trunk. Do you know, it's something that I've never discovered when I was a child. Lots of people claim that pornography would be collected on the side of like railway embankments, in the woods, hidden inside lampposts and shit like that. I never found any pornography when I was a wee boy outside, mainly because I was never outside. I had the internet, so I was at home fucking pulling my pudding. It was a different time. Just got an ad for Pile Wipes, Channel 13. Interesting. Wait to tell you about John McAfee. Now, there is a guy, my God. Never use McAfee software. The guy formed his own militia in Belize to invent his own drugs. I think it would appear that he got whacked by the US government, but we don't even know about that. John McAfee, you know, McAfee antivirus, that guy. John McAfee ended up marrying an assassin that was hired to kill him. Got married. John McAfee's a mental bastard, and I think he's dead now, but who really knows? He's not a goodie. Mental bastard, man. Mental bastard. And it's an interesting life. I think Behind the Bastards should do... So his cause of death is apparently suicide. However, before he died, he made a big deal saying, if I die, it's because folk are after me. And he got whacked, tattooed on his arm. So interesting guy. Maybe Forest of Dean? Really? Maybe we'll do a stream all about John McAfee. Because I think a film should be made about this guy, man. Very interesting sort of guy. Let's look for images of mad stuff that he got up to. So this here is his wife that was originally hired to kill him, but they fell in love. So that's them just together with some guns. John McAfee from McAfee Antivirus that they might use like in your work. That's actually the guy. Mental cunt, man. This is a photo shoot that he put together after... what was that? What was that for again? That was like a self-made PR campaign. Absolute mental bastard. John McAfee. Interesting use of a life. You've got folk like Elon Musk, right, who might be the first trillionaire in the world quite soon. And he's got more money than he can ever use. And what's he doing with it? He's just fucking up people's lives. Meanwhile, you've got millionaires like John McAfee, who just rinsed it. Take all the money. I'm going to Belize, man. See yous later, maybe. And just... Interesting guy. We'll maybe do a stream on John McAfee. This dude. There he's there. Into munitions. Dead now though, apparently from suicide. Apparently. But who knows? Who knows? I don't believe anything I read about him. He's one of them. Zabalba says, is Plantier VPN sound? No, mate, it isn't. It isn't. Plantier is a spying company. that are based in America. Don't touch anything. Zabalbus is saying that tongue in cheek, I think. I'd love a wee tea roll and sausage, yes please. Yes please. Dwayne Dibley says... oh, hold on, I've missed some chat about imagination wanks. No, we're good. I genuinely wonder how many MPs went home and tried to look at Pornhub and were confused why it wouldn't work. Apparently MPs are exempt, Dwayne Dibley, which is bogus. I don't fully know what that is about or how true it is, but I read in chat, one of you told me yesterday that MPs are exempt. I went a cross-country run not too long ago and found a load of porn mags in a bush in the middle of absolutely nowhere. Amazing. That is cool, sorta. I had some phone calls with John McAfee a few years ago, genuinely. No way, Novo Keto, that's mad. Are you at liberty to say what it was about? Were you synthesising your own... What was the drug that he was trying to synthesise in Belize again? John McAfee, drug synthesis. There he's there, man. Just making drugs. Absolute character, man. John McAfee's lab in Belize raided on suspicion he was making meth part 2. What a guy. Doesn't give a fuck, man. I'm not promoting John McAfee. A lot of the stuff he did, in fact, most of the stuff that he did was like pure wild and out of order. I'm just saying, if you don't know that this is the guy behind the antivirus, you might be in for a wee bit of a surprise. Anyway, we can maybe talk about John McAfee in depth in another stream. Interesting though. Interesting. Behind the Bastards did episodes on McAfee in 2019. Class. That's cool, man. Anyway. So Balbus is pure trolling with Plantier. I want this guy to protect my data, 100%. Man loved a hammock. He did love a hammock, man. Hammock and guns and dogs and assassin wives. Video for how to uninstall his antivirus. I don't think anybody can uninstall McAfee antivirus. He also ran for president once. Wow. Gringo, The Dangerous Life of John McAfee, 2016. Is it truthful? I'll check it out. Maybe we could watch that on stream. That would be good to watch. Deary me. He's a lamb compared to Norton from Antivirus. Here, do you know who's a right baddie? Mavis Beacon, for Mavis Beacon Teaches Typing. She's a mad drug lord. She owns 5 slave networks in the Congo. She doesn't. Mavis Beacon doesn't exist. I made that up about Mavis Beacon. John McAfee would be cool if he was a fictional character in a film or something, but in real life it's fucking mental. Aye. He's kind of like Hank Scorpio in The Simpsons. In The Simpsons, it's kind of funny, but if that was a real person, you'd be like, whoa. In real life, it's fucking mental. I do think falling in love with your assassin is a cool idea for a dark rom-com. Aye. There should be fiction made about John McAfee. I wonder who would be good to play him. It seems like there's a really obvious choice on the tip of my tongue, but I can't quite place it. Like his face. Maybe like an older Owen Wilson or something. Don't know. Maybe even Gerard Butler would do a good job. He's got a face, doesn't he? He's a man with like a sort of type of face. Interesting bad guy. Money turns people mad. Aye, it does, Channel 13. Running with the Devil, the Wild World of John McAfee. I will check that out as well, thank you. I will watch both those films tonight with Rachel, whether she wants to or no. Class. The fact that they named a company after the stones that Sauron used to spy on people in Lord of the Rings really is mental. I'm not familiar with Lord of the Rings. Are the stones called Plantier? They named the company after a tool of the bad guys. That's fucked up, man. It's absolutely mental, innit? Wild. Plantier and Andrul, both named after Lord of the Rings objects run by absolute wrongins. Goodness grief. My goodness. Novokito says, yes, happy to tell you I was working on a Bitcoin documentary at the time and wanted him to be part of it. So I had a back and forth messages to arrange it. He agreed to do it though and was always cool on the phone. That's cool, Novokito. Amazing. Jesus Christ. Is that not Mr. and Mrs. Jones? I don't know. With Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. Do you know Brad Pitt? Old Brad Pitt might make a handsome John McAfee. You know, a sort of Hollywood version. William Dafoe would definitely. Mavis Beacon is an MK Ultra project to indoctrinate primary school kids. See, at this stage, base embrace, I'm like, right, aye, cool. I don't know if you're ripping it or if you're actually telling the truth. I'm just like, aye, fine. Probably. I know that the model. So back in the day, there was software called Mavis Beacon Teaches Typing. And on the front cover is this woman, Mavis Beacon, right? And this is her software to teach people how to type. Nowadays, they'll put an iPad in a 3-year-old's hand and the 3-year-old will figure out how to type themselves. But back when computers were just being introduced to people, Mavis Beacon Teaches Typing was the software, right? So here's Mavis, and this is her software on how to teach people how to type, except she's not called Mavis Beacon at all. She's just some stock model. There's nobody exists called Mavis Beacon. It was all just made up. And I remember reading something shady, like the model didn't even get paid for its use or something like that. Mavis Beacon, there is some shenanigans, I remember, but I don't know entirely what they are, so maybe I'm best not misremembering. Here, who dares me to spark up a copy of Mavis Beacon Teaches Typing? And we'll try and do a 0-hit speed run. He's into it. The Libertarian Party will let pretty much anyone run on their ticket, it would appear so, man. Deary me. Jeff Goldblum would make a good... Matthew McConaughey, Jack Nicholson. I think Jack Nicholson's retired now. Mel Gibson, 100%. Ed Norton, Nick Cage. Lemmy, I don't think Lemmy would do it. Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon would be a really good shout, man. Look at that. Kevin Bacon, I think, is maybe my favourite so far. He'd be able to do it well. I don't know what his voice is like. But interesting. Very interesting. Fuck Palmer Luckey. Who's Palmer Luckey again? I remember reading that name. Is Palmer Luckey a coordinator for MK Ultra? Who sort of groomed Charles Manson into it or something like that? Or am I getting my names mixed up? Plantier software is used by the UK authorities. Plantier software is used by lots of different people. So Plantier is a company that just spies on everything. It's about data, right? They just collect everything. Anything out there that can be collected, they will collect. And then they will sell that data on to people who need it. Even like Formula One race teams and stuff like that. So the technology is so advanced that if you've got a project and you've got data and you want to optimize it, you can just give it all to Plantier. Like imagine you've got a car and you're trying to optimize all the cars and stuff like that. You know, the tire pressure and engine car shit, right? Because you want to win a Formula One race. You will capture as much data as you can, give it to Plantier, and they will tell you like, optimally how to do things, right? However, it's not just for how to win Formula One races, it's how to spy on civilians as well. Because part of it is doing that stuff, but another big part of it is just scraping as much information as it possibly can for every part of the world and they're doing better than ever. Plantier, stock worth. Where are we? This is how well they're doing financially. So we're kind of fucked. Data is the new oil. We've run out of oil. And currently we civilians are being squeezed for value and it's working. And this is one of the reasons why everything's pish. Anyway. Sorry, I'm on a downer. Does anybody else get any late good news? If you've got any good news, please stick it in chat. Any late good news, please stick it in chat. Who's behind 10:30? So this is Mary Whitehouse, right? She was on telly quite a bit in the past. 80s and 90s-ish, I think. So she was objecting to different forms of media not to be to her taste. So she was trying to ban swearing and porn and did she get involved in the satanic panic as well? It was a wee bit before my time, to be fair. But pure like no fun at all, man. Pure downer, man. Mary Whitehouse. I bet you she was absolutely filthy. I bet you she was. I bet you it was all repressed, like Catholic guilt or something like that. No, she does look like Church of England, I would say, but I don't know. Don't really know much about her. Well, have we looked for Mary Whitehouse? I know what she represents, but I don't know much about her. Her name's Constance. Mary Whitehouse was a British teacher and conservative activist. She campaigned against social liberalism and the mainstream British media, both of which she accused of encouraging a more permissive society. She was a founder and first president of the National Viewers and Listeners Association, through which she led the long-standing campaign against the BBC, a hardline social conservative. She was termed a reactionary by her socially liberal opponents. Her motivation derived from her Christian beliefs. What did I tell you? Her aversion to the rapid social and political changes in British societies of the 1960s. And her work as a teacher of sex education. 60s. Whitehouse became an art teacher. I was kind of an art teacher. At the same time, becoming involved in evangelical Christian groups, such as the Student Christian Movement. See these Christians, man, with their bad ideas. So she was a pure downer, man. She initiated a successful private prosecution against gay news on the grounds of blasphemous libel. Just an annoying badging. Whitehouse's campaigns continue to divide opinion. Her critics have accused her of being a highly censorious, bigoted figure, and her traditional moral convictions brought her into direct conflict with advocates of the sexual revolution, feminism, children's rights, and LGBT rights. Others see her more positively and believe she was attempting to halt a decline in Britain's moral standards, according to Ben Thompson, an editor of an anthology of Whitehouse-related letters published in 2012. From feminist anti-pornography campaigns to the executive naming and shaming strategies of UK Uncut, her ideological and tactical influence has been discernible in all sorts of unexpected places in recent years. And the reason she's been featured here is because the Online Safety Act is exactly the sort of stuff that she would be behind. Reactionary, pearl-clutching, oppressive ideology that takes away civil liberties from us under the guise of saving the children. So it's bogus pish, isn't it? It's bogus pish. Was she homophobic as well? Looks like she was homophobic. Anyway, I don't really want to read about her because I'm all gone, man. I'm all gone. So round you, Mary Whitehouse. Get it round you. Mary Whitehouse, thank you. That's good going. Good news. Got to learn about the best VPN right here and be reminded that there are still tons of sensible, good folk out there. Amazing, Anna Realtor. That's good gear. That's good gear. Stevie boy, how's it going? Aye, Stevie boy. So Mulvad. So earlier on in the chat, I did like a big tutorial how to do it, what to click. But in summary, go to mulvad.net, right? Do you need a VPN? Here's how to do it. Here's the best one. Go to mulvad.net, right? And then just click on get started. It'll give you a random number. Don't lose that number. Write it down. Not this particular one, but your random number. I'll give you a random number. All you need to do, save this number and then add time to that account. It's not timed as in like pay per minute or whatever. It's just a £5 a month. It will always be a £5 a month. So that's like your login basically. So once you've got a number, add money to it. There are different ways that you can do that based on how para you are. You can even just send cash through the post and it'll work. If you're just using it for Scud, I'll just pay it via a credit card or whatever. There is a discount if you use Bitcoin. So if you've got Bitcoin sitting there, maybe use that. Once you've done that, don't lose this number because that money's now tracked to that number. There's no login. It doesn't take your email. Doesn't do anything like that. So now at this point, you've got a number and you've got some money assigned to it, £5 a month. After that, you download the app and you can get an app for Windows, an app for Mac, or an app for your phone. When you've downloaded the app, you put that number that you've saved into the app and then the app just shows up down here on your computer. So what you can do is then just choose what location you want the internet to think that you come from. So I've picked Sweden. And then if I click on connect, no matter what website I go to, will think that I'm in Sweden. In Sweden don't have these weird porn identification stuff. So if I just hit connect there, I can then go on, I can read whatever I want to read. And it's a £5 a month. There are different VPNs. Some of them are owned by Israel. Other ones are free, but I've got security concerns, all of that sort of stuff. Of all the ones that I've looked at in the past 48 hours, I've chosen this one. Other ones are available. I think this one fits most of my criteria. Currently, this is perfectly legal to do. But the UK government are suggesting that they're going to clamp down on VPNs at some point. But everything that I've told you here is truthful, is legal, and allows us to maintain our privacy, basically. But all the very best, and happy wanking, everybody. Where are we? Where are we? Lavi Enavi, I still don't know how to say your name, says, I just got the barista job I really wanted at the only independent cafe in my area. Finally escaped my shitty, understaffed retail job. My old boss is flailing. Fucking yes. That is some excellent news. That's some dynamite news. Proton VPN is available. I slightly prefer that mulvad.net, but I've done a full tutorial earlier in the stream. And anybody that wants to know, check out the stream. But basically, just in the past 2 minutes there, I've given you a crash course. But if you get stuck or if you need more information, earlier on the stream, I said that same stuff, but I dragged it out a bit and added a bit more detail into it. I've got a sore thorax, man, for some reason. Sore right in here. Rhinoceros, I was speaking about that earlier, the Mary Whitehouse experience. Also, she got Whitehouse a porn mag named after her as well. Stevie boy, did you just sub? If you just subbed, maybe refresh, and then there'll be a bit that says share my thing. But your sub hasn't came through, but sometimes that's just Twitch. So for anybody that's subbed but didn't get a bubble blast and all of that, refresh and then see if there's a bit that comes up that says share my subscription. But thanks very much for subbing, even if that doesn't work. Anyway. May also be getting edited and posted all over the place as such great info, so maybe not the whole VOD. Aye. I'll edit that down and stick it on different parts of the internet. See, oh my goodness gracious. I'm just making sure none of that's getting into my computer. But I think the exhaust fans on my computer are preventing all the bubbles from getting into it, so that's pretty good. Beneath the headphones, that's an incredibly generous thing you've just done. Beneath the headphones, thanks for giving us up to Hazmat, Fergster, Abra Chameleon, Silent Storm, and Tild. And Stevie Boy, how you doing? Thank you very much, Stevie Boy, for subbing. Yes, man. Stevie Boy, it all works. Thank you very much. Stevie Boy, thank you very much for the sub. Beneath the headphones, thank you for 5 bloody gift subs. That's a wonderful thing you've just done. My bubble setup is in a different location, and I'm just para that it's like leaking bubble juice into things. But I think I've set it up okay. There's power here, there's liquid up there, and I'm just making sure we're all good about it. Beneath the headphones, thank you very, very much. And Stevie Boy, once again, thank you very much. Thank you. Wonderful. Wonderful. You're a £5 a month, Hammy. Technically, I am a £5 a month. If you want to pay me a £5 a month, I'll take it. There's different ways for you to do that. Thank you very much. Graham says, how much are they paying you for this, Jimbo? Well, nothing. I researched all the VPNs. Every one of them will pay me money to recommend it to you, except this one. Annoyingly, because this is the one that I would actually use if I was in your position. This is the one that I'm currently using. And that's annoying because I want a wee referral code and stuff like that. See if I recommended NordVPN to you, which I don't recommend NordVPN. Or if I recommended Proton, which is I think a valid choice, but I prefer this one. Turns out there isn't a way for me to profit for you getting this, which is pish. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you to go for one that isn't the good one. You know what I mean? Even if I do make cash off it. No Temple S compatibility, no. Unfortunately, no. Dearie me. But I wish they were paying me cash for that. But no, this is my job. If I come on here and I'm telling you about technology, right? As soon as I'm getting paid to tell you the wrong thing, then there's no point in it, man. There's no point at all. So, as mentioned previously, he could have promoted all the ones like YouTubers, but this is the good one, and they don't even do sponsorships, 100%. This seems to be the best one that I can see. Not a sponsorship, I'm not getting paid for anything. Jesus Christ Post says the UK government are smoking crack if they think banning VPNs will work. Pretty sure Michael Gove's on something, man. Pretty sure he is. But even China haven't managed to ban VPNs. There is dripping bubble juice, but I'm just making sure it's not going into my light or my power. I think we're okay. But if there is a big explosion and a crack and the stream goes off, you know it's because of bubble juice going into my power. I'm going to have to move that stuff away. So I could have made money by sending you a different place, but I'm not doing that. And if you think that's cool, feel free to send me bits, sub to me on Twitch if you can. See, if you don't want it, that's fine as well, man. Thank you very much, Beneath the Headphones. They can take away our porn temporarily, but they can never take away our bubbles. Freedom, am I right, everybody? Leaking bubble juice all over my VPN. Goodness grief. You're doing a wonderful thing with this stream. Fuck down the street knobheads, free the wanks, 100%. Remember, everybody, see if you're Scottish. Just remember, in 2014, we had an opportunity to not be ruled by these fascist cunts. Do you remember? But we fucked it, didn't we? I'm just using this opportunity to be like, this is why I was for Scottish independence. Do you remember? True Brightly says, what's wrong with NordVPN? If you're using it and it works, then fire in. But there was a security concern with NordVPN, and also apparently the prices on NordVPN are a wee bit predatory. So they will say, oh, it only costs this per month, but then the prices go up as soon as you need to renew it. It technically will get you over the block. However, if I was choosing a VPN, any day of the week I would choose Mulvad over NordVPN. But there are different strategies on how to tackle this. Night Death says, I hate to burst your bubbles, but every internet connection goes through GCHQ and will not save you. Well, it depends what we're doing, Night Death. I agree, everything's getting spied on everywhere, right? 100%. But I'm not trying to, like, overthrow any governments. I'm not doing any crime or anything like that. I don't need to hide anything. I just want to go on and have a wank. That's all I want to do. And this is a solution on how to do it. I don't recommend using Mulvad to do crime. If you do crime on the internet, you'll be caught. Don't do crime. But this is a way of circumventing the Online Safety Act, which is a massive, massive security concern. And that's why I'm interested in it. Where are we? All operating systems will have backdoors. Everything will be monitorable everywhere. I'm just talking about how to circumvent the Online Safety Act so that we can have a wank in peace, because that's quite important. I know that the Tories brought it in, but prioritising over this, sending help to people who genuinely need it in this country and indeed others, just shows that they don't care. I voted because I was genuinely thought that it would be better. Turns out I was wrong. Did you vote for the Tories? Oh no, Labour. Right, aye. 100%. Aye, Night Death, if you've got anything worth sharing, then go for it. But we're talking about the OSA just now. We're not talking about hiding crimes or anything like that. Where are we? There's some aggro in the chat. A wee bit of aggro. This usually means that I'm touching something that's worth talking about. Just do your wank in the public library instead? Aye, I can't see anything wrong with that. People just want a zero friction wanking experience, 100%. Where are we? Encrypt your wanks, 100%. Right, that's me at the bottom of the chat, and it looks like the chat has degenerated into arguing. Alright, Pork Chop, how we doing? So, let's see what's on Steam. However, I've only really got about 40 minutes left of the stream. So, whatever we're doing next, can it be heavy involved? So, let's just have a wee look. I mean, Rust is sitting right there. What's something I could just jump into for 40 minutes or so? 40-minute Minesweeper stream, maybe. Very maybe. Alright, Stevie boy. Balatro? No, there's an idea. I don't think Balatro... Well, I've only got Balatro on my phone. I don't have it in Steam. Don't have Balatro on Steam. So I kind of play that on stream. But I don't actually think it would be a good game to play on stream, because unless you know what's happening, it maybe looks a wee bit boring. I would quite like to play Green Hell. I've got Green Hell, and then I've got that other one that I confuse with Green Hell. And it's just sitting there and I've not played it. Do you know what I could have a shot of though? Super Hexagon.
Super Hexagon.
That's right, my man. Green Hell will have an upgrade tree for sure. I know. I'm trying to just get into it. Why is that like that? Let's fix that. Studio mode here. And then, oh, Pepper's not happy. Pepper! Grow up! Just grow up! Doodaloo, doodaloo, doodaloo. Aye, so this is cool. So I can be playing a video game, right? There's me in a video game. And then when I come out of it, it's right here. Hi, guys! Oh, it's a full family. Oh, hi, Freddie. How you doing, man? How's it even going, Freddie? Freddie dog, nice boy.
Nice boy.
And how's it going, Rachel, nice boy? Boob snoot?
Alright, yeah.
Freddie, boop that snoot. They need to see your wee snoot. Boob snoot. Boob snoot. Yeah, bro.
Let me give you a paw.
Oh, you going to get... Freddie, can I get a paw off you? Oh, I love a paw, man. Thanks for doing that.
Touch.
Freddie, touch. Yeah, a wee snoot. I'm going to... Pepper's just no idea. She's like... I know, aye, I'm going to try and get a couch for Fred. And he can be in here. And there'll be a special place that you can sit whenever you want. And maybe you as well.
Get a yellow one in there and get a new set of...
Aye, because that is a wee bit fucked, that one, isn't it?
Remember he expressed his anal glands.
Did you express your anal glands on the yellow chair?
Still...
And now it's yours?
Still stains.
That's maybe a good... Pepper, grow up, Pepper! Grow up!
And that frees up some space there.
Aye, we could do that. She's not happy. She's not very happy. We had some arguments about the GCHQ in chat there.
What did you say?
Aye.
Somebody for it? Against it?
I don't even
What's
know.
happening? I missed it. I was on the FaceTime with my mum and Pepper came up and we were just talking to Pepper on FaceTime.
Pepper, do you want to show yourself to the people?
Now go get Jack.
Pepper! Hey, the Pepper, morning! Over here, pa! Blah, 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 blah.
No, look, come on.
It's me! It's me! Blah, blah, blah. She's not very bright. In the words of a former manager, she's not the sharpest bulb.
She's not the sharpest bulb.
Yes, yes! Oh, it's a pepper dog, it woofed, woofed. It's a pepper dog. It is a pepper dog. Watch that tea. Aye, yeah.
There we go.
Aye, yeah. It's under the Oaksters, isn't it? Under the Oaksters is the best. Eh?
Tommy.
Who's all these people, man? Who's all these people? Look at that. Look at that. Eh? Yeah, we go. Are you reading the chat? You reading the Twitch chat? Look at all the people there. Who are they? What happened there?
Stood in my top. So what was the... I've missed all that. Chat about
Oh, nothing important.
yoga.
There we go. There we go. Right, about your business.
Wee puppy tummy. Right, come on, boys.
About your business. See you later.
Come on, boys.
Ta-ta.
Bye.
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 Pepper and Fred, everybody, Pepper and Fred. I couldn't lift Fred up like that. I couldn't lift Fred up like that. He wouldn't be into it. He wouldn't be into it at all. Goodness me. To be able to decrypt all traffic of a nation 24/7 in real time would require data centres larger than what is used for training AI. Don't get me wrong, GCHQ, right? That is their job, is to spy on us all. That's a different topic for what we're talking about, though, which just kind of complicates things and muddies stuff up and implies that there's no point in doing what I was telling you to do. But what I was telling you to do will allow you to watch Scud tonight without signing up to some third-party database. Remember, I got like a diagram out in Paint and all of that. So that's what I'm telling you. Anyway, fuck VPN. I'm using Pepper's face for age verification. Well, she is 8 years old, so I don't think it'll. Maybe that's what it's all about. Night Death. That's exactly what I'm saying. VPNs don't protect you. They only change your location. 100%. So if you were following the stream, which has been going for 4 hours now, all throughout, I said that this won't protect you if you're doing crime or anything like that, but this will give you access to areas of the internet that the UK government have blocked in a legal way, so that you can read things without signing up to a database with your name and sexual preferences listed next to it, because that's a massive security vulnerability. Is she 10? Wee girly. So if anybody thinks that, like, also if you need layers of protection, like your browser fingerprint and stuff like that, Mulvad do have a browser, but I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about how you can go on and read the Stop Smoking subreddit without signing up to the OSA bill, because it's all bogus. I'm not telling you how to go off grid. I'm not telling you how to hide crime or anything like that. I'm just telling you how to watch Scud, because right now, more than ever, people just need to be able to blow off some steam. And that I spoke about today is a way of doing it. If you follow those instructions and you commit crime on the internet, you will be caught. Just don't do crime. Okie dokie. I would like to play a game. Could you tell us how to hide crime? Maybe if I started streaming on Kick, maybe I could do that. I'd be interested to know the statistics of how many people have just gone and willingly uploaded their ID to the internet by now. Would be a good indicator of how many people are just ignorant to this kind of thing. Patchmas, that is the reason why. Now, there are different ways of getting past the Online Safety Act, right? A lot of people, instead of uploading their ID, have used photographs of celebrities or something like that. But the reason that I don't want to do that, and I don't want to encourage that, is because it's misusing a government tool, which might end up being a crime, right? But also, it's a way of you still signing up to that tool that they're using, the verification thing. So on their metrics, they can say, oh, this was a success because so many thousand people have now signed up to our online thing. What a success that was. I'm not going to comply. I'm just not ever going to do it. If VPNs somehow stop working, I'll find a different way of doing it, or I'll just stop watching Scud entirely. It's bogus shenanigans, and I'm not into it. Let's blow some steam off by playing Super Hexagon if we're into it. Are we into it? Come on, we're into it. Also, quantum computing. Quantum computing will be a massive violation of any sort of encryption. And as far as we know, all these governments and agencies might have quantum computers just now. What is it they say? The Americans' defence technology is usually about 20 years ahead of what we know is currently possible. I don't know how we know that. I think there's lots of misinformation going about all of that. If we're getting conspiratorial, I would imagine there's probably government backdoors in every device. Everything. Probably. And if there's backdoors on random number generators that are inside our graphics cards and processors, then possibly, probably, if you're a person of interest, they can just fucking get into anything that they want. So I highly recommend not being a person of interest. However, this stream hasn't got anything to do with that. This stream, I'm just talking about how to watch porn if you want to, without signing up to their thing. Okie dokie. I need to get you the sound of Super Hexagon. Earlier, did you hear the woman saying Super Hexagon? Ah, well, you would have, but through the mic. And in order to make this happen, I need to open Elgato Wavelink. More like Elgato Wave Stink, am I right? And then I need to go into the game. And then I need to add Super Hexagon. Okie dokie. I think we're ready to play the game. I'd love to play Peak. That would be class. I'm right into it. I'd like to play Peak, Kate. If ever you're up for playing Peak, I'm into it. I've saw other people play Peak. I'm not a get definite Peak FOMO. It'd be cool if we get a crowd together. I want to play Peak. What's the temperature of the room you're in with all the equipment running? It's alright. The reason my skin's reflective just now is because I'm wearing moisturiser, because I've got a skin condition, because the bubbles used to blast me in the face. Temperature wise, this is alright. I'm totally burning electricity though. A reminder that since iOS 17, maybe 18, Apple has shipped post-quantum encryption on their devices. Wow. It's to combat the capture now, decrypt later philosophy that many governments have adopted. Fucking hell. Post-quantum encryption. Can everybody in chat be civil to each other, even if you disagree with each other? Let's keep any conversations fact-based and not argumentative. Don't sling insults at each other, because it makes it difficult for mods, right? Because nobody needs to read all of your shite. And my mods are quite busy, right? They can't be fucked well with that. So you're very welcome to disagree with each other in chat. That's how we learn things, is by disagreeing and chatting. But don't sling insults to each other, because that's like no productive. Nobody's getting banned, nobody's getting timed out, but just like be nice, basically. This is my area of the internet. Be nice to each other, even if you disagree with each other. Unless somebody's being a total cunt, in which case we will ban them. I work at a uni where whoever was in charge wasn't aware of QR code links expiring on some services, so I found a lot of them were leading to scam sites after hanging around campus for a few months. Never, ever scan a QR code in public. Don't ever do it. Anytime you are in a car park or something and you need to scan a QR code to pay, make sure that that QR code isn't just a sticker that's been put over an existing sign or something like that. A QR code is a link to a part of the internet, and you don't know where it's taking you. So if you've got a phone and you're just going to some random part of the internet, there could be something there that can hack your phone, basically, to put it in as simplest terms as I can. Never be wary of public QR codes. Headliners is another game to play like that. You play photojournalist. Aye, me and Bilal were looking at that. That looks cool. Basically have the best photo. I'm into it. 100%. Bubble Burst Skynet is real. Is the name of the UK spy network. Aye. Yep. All the governments are evil bastards. Ah, exactly. Rolling Sausage has been making tea. Everybody behave yourselves. We're all friends here. 100% beneath the headphones. Hello, Taff, man. How's it going? Gotta be joking, mate. I wouldn't be friends with a friend of mine. How's it going, Taff? It's wonderful to have you in. Taff, fancy a game of Peak with me and Cater Cakes and maybe some others? I'm going to invite everybody except Ad. Just for a buzz. Just for a total laugh. I think it'll be funny. Anyway, let's play this game before I get screen burn on that screen. Are you into it? Taff says maybe. Don't play hard to get, Taff. Don't make me beg. Let's jump in. I've not played Super Hexagon in a wee bit, so it'll take me a couple of games to get up to speed. I used to be able to do channel bets on this. I had it all automated, but not anymore. Let's just go. And I'm only going to be playing this for another 20 minutes or so. We do need a screensaver for monitors, 100%. I'll go for hard mode. Here we go.
Begin.
So if you haven't seen this before, I'm the wee triangle in the middle. I don't know if sound is good. I can't look at chat. fuck off.
Over.
I realised I wasn't breathing, man. I realised I wasn't breathing. Sounds good, 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 good. That's not a hexagon, I know, it's a super hexagon. Anybody played Super Hexagon? It's hard going, man. So, Anna Realta, the aim is, I'm a tiny wee triangle. All I can do is press left and right to either go clockwise or counterclockwise, and the objective is to not hit the sides. If you hit the sides once, kaput, that's you. The objective is to last as long as you can. It's called Super Hexagon, and it's one of my most favourite games in the entire world. Also, it's got excellent music. Night Death, gonna get a rest with GCHQ. What you're saying, I understand what you're saying, but like, it's alright. But I understand what you're saying. Let's go.
Line. Triangle. Square. Pentagon. Hexagon.
Fuck off, man. Ah! Oh, no chance. No chance. What I really like about Super Hexagon is that when you're playing it, it occupies all of your brain. It occupies absolutely everything. When you're playing Super Hexagon, there's no chance for you to be worrying about anything, for you to be thinking about governments, for you to be, for you to have any feeling or emotion. It requires your absolute focus and concentration. Stresses me the fuck out. Oh, it's horrible. I don't know if it's a good game to play on stream, but I adore it, man. Absolutely adore it. The music is good as well. Music's made by Chipzil. Why is the voice saying line square? It's the next sort of shape. So all the shapes are kind of patterns that are semi-random. So you'll have sequences of like that pattern, that pattern, that pattern, and she's telling you sort of what stage you're in when you play it. Super Hexagon would make a great arcade game. It's wonderful, man. See as well if you've got like high scores and stuff. So the best here is 99 seconds. 99.58 seconds is my personal best on this level, right? There is also... Oh, I've cancelled that. I thought... aye. So that's hard level. My best is 99 seconds. On the phone as well, I mainly play it on my phone, so all my scores are different and better on the phone. So that's hard level. There is also harder level. There is also hardest level. There is also hardester level. And then levels that are locked as well. So that's the easiest level I was playing. Highly recommend Super Hexagon. It's wonderful. You might not think it's a big deal. I'm quite good at that, right? Compared to your average person. Seriously, if you tried to play that for the first time, you would get maybe 4 seconds in or something, and it would be very infuriating. I've been loving The King is watching. I've no idea what that is as well. I need to copy paste that in a new tab. Makes me want to play Rez. Aye, definitely. It's just punishing, man. It's absolutely punishing, but incredible. Yoda and Coke, all the very best. Sorry, that's easy mode. How hard is harderest? I'll show you. I used to be better at this. You kind of need to keep the neural pathways fresh. Today, what I'm showing you isn't that great. And like I said, my high scores are all on my phone, not on this.
Begin.
This is the hardest level that I've currently got available to me.
Game over.
Fucked it. 9 seconds in. I could have done better there.
Begin. Game over.
It's impossible. I need a couple of runs of... how to be good at Super Hexagon is you play the really hard levels and you get your brain used to that speed, and then you go back to like a slightly less fast level and you'll be much better at that because your reaction times will be a lot twitchier. Oh, my chest, man. I can feel my chest sort of crack when I breathe in. I'm so stressed out with this. It's something else. I don't know if it's good for streaming though. Terry Kavanagh made this. He made VV, and he also made a cool game called Don't Look Back. It's kind of like an artist game. Of all the game developers that there are, I would class Terry Kavanagh as like an artist type of game developer. Independent, lone dev, I believe, and usually there's some cool ideas in what he's doing. I'm surprised that Super Hexagon isn't a bigger game just now, because this is quite old now. I think it's about 10 years old, Super Hexagon. I adore it. I think it's cool. Dead simple. No fucking DLC expansion packs, no tech trees, nothing to collect. It's just brutal, and there it is. I adore it. It's absolutely punishing. I adore it. Oh, we'll check that out. Thank you very much, Hammy. It's good because you can play for a few seconds and take a break. You have to. Oh, man. It's like when you're driving on the motorway and exit to a residential area, 30 miles an hour feels so slow. I kinda... Like, see if I go back now to the game that I was playing previously.
Begin.
It's a piece of piss, man. So slow. Like, I've got all the time in the world. I mean, it's speeding up a wee bit now, but
Fine.
compared to the game that I was just playing...
Triangle. Square.
But seriously, if you're a streamer, give this a shot on stream. And maybe we can have
Pentagon.
a community high scores.
Hexagon.
Ah!
Game over.
I want my mommy. What a game. What a game, man. My eyes are watering. What a game. Spogger says, I failed about 5 seconds in, so just watching you play, I can be better at this. See if I'll lock in over, you know, a couple of weeks or something. I can be very, very good. Right, guys, I'm going to bounce, I think. Thanks very much for joining me today. I'm going to go and see who's on, and we can stream. Sorry, I'll watch a stream. Sorry, I just received an email and I need to stop thinking about it. Or not stop thinking about it, just talk to you while I'm not thinking about that. I think we'll raid Finite Singularity, maybe? Who's working on some dev stuff? Aye, let's go over there. Let's raid Finite Singularity. Listen, everybody, I've really enjoyed today's stream. And it's time to say cheerio. So I will try and... cheerio. So I will try and... You behave. You behave. I will try and clip up the tutorial, and I'll stick it online so anybody who wants to know about VPNs can learn about VPNs. Thanks very much. Oh, and I will check out The King is watching as well. I've just got that in a new tab, Hammy. I like the art direction on it. That's kind of cool. That looks decent. Listen, everybody, my name's James Houston, and Houston's boosting. However, before I go, here is a magic trick. Eh? Let's do a 300 and wee bowling straight into a 99 on Hexagon. Well, we can get to 100. We can get to 100. See you later. Thank you very much for coming in. Keep it real, take it easy, and all the very best. Give the dog his treats. I will. Catch yous after, folks. Bye. Bye. Ta-ta.